teams a chance to get in it and play and have an opportunity. It's more inclusive, if you will.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Hey, welcome into a Too Stupid Thursday edition of the Morning Rush. That was Chris Lowe, ESPN.com senior writer on the show yesterday, talking about the expanded college football playoff, which may expand again in just a couple years. That has been out there the last few days, last week or so. And then a new, the tie-ins, like who ends up making the college football playoff could change as well if they do move to 14 teams. That will be a discussion we hold this morning. The college football playoff could affect the Army-Navy game, which we'll talk about. Basketball team back in action this weekend against Kentucky in Rupp Arena. Baseball team hosting Murray State. Softball team's got the Woo Pig Invitational this weekend, and we've got some crazy, stupid stories for you here on a Too Stupid Thursday.
How you doing?
Good. Happy Leap Day.
That's right, it is. What do you do if you're born today? What if you have a birthday on Leap Day?
I had that jotted down. I don't know. I don't have any friends or anyone I know that was born on February the 29th. I think it'd be luck. I'm guessing, I'm assuming you celebrate the day before, not the day after.
I guess so.
One of the questions I had down is, should people be paid more this year than in prior years because you have to work theoretically one extra day, right?
Or be paid less the other 3 years because you got to work less. Which is it?
I think it's paid more. I think
You
more
think
people.
it's paid more?
I think more people would advocate to get paid more on this day. But every 4 years again.
But it's a 28-day month in most years, which I always like February because payday comes around a little bit sooner. Hey, that's where we begin this morning on a Too Stupid Thursday. It's brought to you by APAC Arcola. They have immediate job openings, and if you missed their job fair yesterday, I'm going to give you a website where you can go and find open positions right now that they're ready to fill with great people in Northwest Arkansas, North Central Arkansas. So if you're listening this morning in Boone, Marion, or Baxter County, we got opportunities for you with APAC Arcola to tell you about Northwest Arkansas. A lot of jobs on the listings right now as they grow and expand and need to replace people that have been with them for decades that are retiring because they have a great retirement program as part of the benefits package, profit sharing, great insurance, but great pay and a great company to work for. So if you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, maybe you're a concrete finisher or asphalt experience, they have jobs ready for you. Go to jobs.crh.com. You can find the full listing. And if you meant to get by or just couldn't get by the job fair yesterday, it's not too late to get a great job with a great company. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
So this again happens every 4 years. It's February the 29th. When you circle back to next year on the calendar in February, it will be 28 days, as you mentioned in this one. I think you should get...
Why do we need an extra day every 4 years? Is it to keep the sun and the stars and the earth on track? There's got to be a scientific reason that I was probably taught somewhere in like 6th grade. I've forgotten.
I would say that at one point in time that was shared in our curriculum in our classroom, and yet all these years later, I don't remember either.
Someone Google that.
Daylight savings. Some people say that we should eliminate daylight savings. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's not adding time to the calendar. That's just shifting the time that we use.
Chaz was born on Leap Day. Chaz in Fayetteville, as he texted on the McLarty Daniel hotline. February the 29th, 1992. He usually celebrates on the 28th. Today he is celebrating on the 29th. So happy. That puts him at 92. Does that put him at 31? Is that right? Is he 31 or 32 today?
92 to to 22, it'd be 30 years. So now he'd be 32. Yeah,
32. Okay, yeah. Chaz Fayetteville, happy 32nd birthday here.
But
on the morning
if you only
rush.
counted the leap years, he'd be 8.
Yeah, it's like it's the dog years. It's the opposite
Yeah,
way.
I'm 8.
So the Earth's orbit around the sun is not exactly 365 days.
Yeah.
Every year, the calendar is slightly behind the actual position of the Earth by 6 hours.
I knew that. I knew
you
that
go.
had to be something.
That's Professor Big C filling in some
Oh, yeah.
info this morning. I don't.
Good thing he could read from a monitor, right?
Yeah.
There you go, Big C. Way to go.
Either you should get paid more or you shouldn't have to work today, I would think. Now, for us, it's a little different. We work on kind of unconventional days. This doesn't really affect us. But, I mean, for those out there that have whatever type of job, I just don't think you should have to work today. Or if you work today, you should get paid more. One extra.
Think what you want.
Do you have an opinion on that one way or another?
I mean, I think it's just part of what you sign up for. If one day every 4 years is going to buy, hey, if you work by the hour, which a lot of people do, you're going to clock in and clock out today. Most people do. A lot of people do. Get paid by the hour, which means you actually got to show up and do something. How many people want to sign up for that? Get off salary and get, some would. Many wouldn't, because then you'd actually have to be accountable for your time.
You don't get overtime or anything, I guess, during the course. You don't get overtime over the course of the year because it just falls into the same 5-day work week or anything to get to 40 hours in that situation. But yeah, that's what
we all know plenty of people on salary that don't actually get 40 hours in.
Yes, that is true. And then there's some that do like twice of what they're actually required to do.
Thank you for noticing me and Big C then.
Yeah, that's not who I was thinking of. I had written down. Have you ever?
I can only imagine who you were thinking.
Yeah. I didn't say it. I had written down like some activities that apparently have been talked about on Leap Day. I have you ever done a time capsule of any sort? That is actually really
when I was
fun.
and I don't know whatever became of it. We buried one when I was in like elementary school. They were going to dig that thing up in like 2002 or whatever. I don't know. I mean,
you don't know what happened.
Whoever. I mean, how many people are part of that as a kid and then are actually there when they dig the time capsule up? I don't know.
I just like the.
I've never heard of anyone burying one recently.
I think so. 4 years is not for some. It's an eternity. For some, it's not that long. It depends on how old you are. But I think just writing I had jotted down a few things like writing a letter to yourself, a time capsule, like you said. Now you probably want to prolong that time period between when you bury it and when you open it for just more than 4 years. But who knows? The world could look vastly different in 4 years from now than it currently is. But in just kind of that time period. I think it's a decent time period.
I think 4 years is a lot longer for you than it is for me. It seems like I turn around and 4 years has passed anymore.
Yeah, that's just the age. The age different at this point. It seems the last 4 years to me have not gone by quick. I can remember specifics pretty much each and every year. But again, the older you get, the quicker time seems to pass, doesn't it? I mean, you probably.
Oh yeah.
It's just
I can't believe we're at the end of February already. 2 months into this year, I thought we just started the year. No, we're
flying by here on this Leap Day. And if there's any other celebrations or anything that we should try and do on this day, once we get done with our work, you can call or text us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. I'm advocating either you shouldn't have to work today or you should get paid more, since there's one more day a year that you have to work here.
You could not
every
work
4
and
years.
not get paid. You could do it that way,
or get paid time and a half, since it is a holiday today.
But if you're punching the time clock, you're getting paid.
But you should get paid a time and a half. I'm looking out for you.
Spoken like a man that's never had to make out payroll. So
nope, just accepting that payroll.
Mm-hmm. How about earning that payroll?
I do that every day. There's no question about that.
Hey, if you're looking for a great place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I highly recommend, and I think Ty would endorse this as well, the Inn at the Mill. In fact, I stayed there night before last, and the Inn at the Mill is the place that always choose. Big, oversized rooms, spacious rooms, fast internet, so we can get the work done. Sometimes I've even done the show from there with the internet they have available. They got the water features there on property with the old mill that still works, with the spring that comes down the hill there. I mean, it is a neat place. 443-1800 is their number, or go to inatthemill.com.
The sign of a smart man is to understand that things change and to roll with those changes. And Ty, I applaud.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at
5-4.
What a ball game tonight here at Globe Life Field. And a stupid pitching performance. 23 strikeouts, a new school record.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
So after that performance this weekend, Hagen Smith was named the Golden Spikes Award Performance of the Week. Hagen is probably going to be in contention for that award. Later on this season, you've had two Razorbacks win it. Andrew Benintendi back in 2015 and then Kevin Kopps in 2021. Maybe Hagen could be the third guy to win that award for this baseball program. So we'll talk more baseball tomorrow. Just wanted to mention that. We've got a few texts here on the McLarty Daniel hotline concerning time capsules that we'll jump into in just a sec.
Hey, the team at Matchstick Studios in Fayetteville has created an affordable way for your business, product, or service to have a great-looking website that's affordable. $95 a month. No other trapdoors, no other fees, no upfront. Hey, give me $3,500. Get back to you in 6 months. None of that. $95 a month. You start paying when your website goes live, which is usually about 2 to 3 weeks. So, I mean, if you need a website done and you want it done fast, or you are tired of messing around with what you have now, or it's eating up too much of your time or someone on your staff's time, it's time to turn to Modular Orange. Great looking website. They keep it up to date with your help. Of course, you got to tell them as new staff members come in, or you got to change in a product or a service. But they do the heavy lifting of putting the photo on the site, changing that paragraph, adding that page, whatever it is you need done. And that's all included in the $95 a month. All the hosting fees, security certificates, everything you need. They're your website people, $95 a month. Set it and forget it is the old phrase. Well, that's what you can do with your new website from Modular Orange. 479-755-3043 is their number, 755-3043. Or see examples, more questions answered, and everything at modularorange.com.
So Smack Daddy texted in talking about Hagen Smith, wondering if he won co-SEC Player of the Week. No, he won the actual Player of the Week overall at this point, the Pitcher of the Week, whichever one it was. It was not a co-associated with that. Colin Fisher, on the other hand, won the co of the week. Troy from Charleston texted in, Tommy. This is a long one. Charleston will have their 150th birthday this upcoming April on the 13th. They're going to dig up the vault that has been buried in the courthouse lawn since 1999, so 25 years, and they're going to bury a new one that's going to be dug up in 2049 on their 175th anniversary. So
cool.
That's kind of cool for the folks of what's Charleston's mascots?
The Tigers.
Tigers, okay.
You ought to know that the tower for which one of our many vast network of stations here on the Morning Rush Network sits in Charleston, pretty much directly behind the high school.
Yeah,
maybe we'll send you down there to cover the the unveiling of the time capsule. What would you have put in a time capsule in 1999?
That's a great question. So I would have been 4 years old. So I would have put in my bear back in the day. Actually, no, I wouldn't have done that because I would have cried every night without my bear. What was cool?
He still has.
Yeah, I still have it. It's actually in my memory box because my mom gave it to me back in the day. I would say probably a Hot Wheels of some sort, something Hot Wheels related. That was big for me back in the day.
I just think about technology. I guess a CD would have been the way we listened to music in '99.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Were we watching DVDs yet in '99? I think we were, but it may have been like a VHS tape. What would have been the big movie? I lose track of what the big movie would have been in '99.
For me, I've watched Happy Gilmore on VHS at my friend's house over 100 times. So that would have been the one that I would have put in just because of the significance to me.
Was it a 1999 movie?
I don't know. I want to say it was in the 90s. I don't think it was 99.
Yeah.
But I want to say it was in the 90s. So that Happy Gilmore was it for me. In terms of, I think VHS was in the 90s and then DVD was more like 2000s at that point.
I think if you were in Arkansas, you would have
the 94 championship.
Yeah, you could put that in there. You had Bill Clinton as your president from Arkansas. Might have had something about that in there. What else? I don't know what else you put in there. I mean, because here's the thing. You'd have to have some Y2K stuff in there because we all thought the world was going to end.
Oh,
please don't.
Spell out that acronym, Y2K. Okay, Big C, help me out since he's not going to.
What is it?
I laugh because
You've never heard of Y2K?
No, I don't. You're getting
Year 2000. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because everyone thought the world was literally
okay.
going to quit spinning on its axis. Every computer was going to shut down because no one thought that the internal calendars or internal clocks on the computers would actually move forward to,
and they did,
a new millennium, not a century, new millennium, because we, never done that before. So there were industries born out of Y2K. So that would have to be there would have to be some representation of Y2K in a vault or in a time capsule buried in 1999.
I guess you could video like the moment when it
happened.
And look on it years later.
Derek in Fayetteville says Armageddon, and that's the Ben Affleck movie. I haven't seen it. I believe it's Ben Affleck that's the star of that movie. Jason in Southwest Missouri says a Nokia cell phone.
Yeah, a flip phone.
Yeah,
Jason.
I think
a flip phone in there.
That would have been a good one.
I remember when we got I think it's the one he's talking about. I think it was the Nokia 8640 or whatever. It was the first one that wasn't the flip open phone or the flip up phone. It had maybe the deal where you flip down. It wasn't the brick,
Okay. I bet there's some cool, like Greg, for example, messages us on YouTube that his high school buried a time capsule back, or his junior high, in 1986. It would be, whether it's Charleston, like we just got Troy texted in on the McLarty Daniel Hotline and others, those would be cool to dig up and see back then, because it's always fun to go back in time to your high school or junior high days or whatever you buried something and see what was a big deal back then, because a lot of the things, frankly, you've probably forgotten about. Like you listed a few there, but Tommy, there's so many things that we haven't listed out in the 90s just because they don't they're not sight of mind. But then if you pulled out this time capsule like Greg or Troy or some of the others that done this, and then you see some of the things that you and your classmates buried, it's like, oh, I remember, and it brings back all this joy and floods in good memories. As far as what you bury now in 2024,
can we bury this basketball season?
Yeah.
Can we bury the last football season?
Never see it again?
Think about that in 99. I mean, yes, you're a few years removed from the national championship and then the runner-up the following year in 95, and you went to the Sweet 16 in 96, but Nolan was still your coach, and you really thought, hey, we're going to get back on the top of the world of college basketball. And who would have known in 99, or who would have thought that just a couple of years later, your whole program was going into a time capsule for about 20 years.
Yeah. It was very dormant for that point and buried, and luckily Musselman resurrected it, and now you're just not having a good season. But we'll come back to this time capsule discussion because we seem to generate some feedback already this morning.
All right, that's where we will start this morning. Brought to you by Sassy's Barbecue. Chuck's going to be out there with Coach Muss on Monday night for the final Eric Musselman Live, so don't miss that. It will be at the Steamboat Drive location just off the Weddington exit. So if you want to get around the team and around Coach for one final time, you can do that at Sassy's. Happy hour, weekdays 3 to 6. You can try their award-winning smoked wings, their great brisket, baby back ribs. I like their tacos as well. The brisket tacos are incredible. It is all at Sassy's, 2 locations in Fayetteville, the original Red House off North College, and then, of course, the Steamboat Drive location off the Weddington exit. When it comes to barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more, nobody does it better than Sassy's. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
All right, more on a Too Stupid Thursday, including some college football playoff talk.
First off, thank you guys. Y'all get me going to work every morning, so I appreciate what you guys do.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV now through the end of February. We're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, this is Landon Jackson, and you're listening to ESPN Arkansas.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westart Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westart Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
Elect Judge Sam Terry to Fort Smith District Court on March 5th. Trusted, experienced, and fair, Terry is a former prosecutor and experienced attorney. Judge Terry has been appointed an Arkansas Supreme Court Special Associate Justice and shows his community commitment through numerous volunteer efforts. Vote Judge Sam Terry for Fort Smith District Court Judge on March 5th. The right experience and the right integrity. Early voting begins February 20th. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Sam Terry.
Drive a third-row SUV that is style in motion with the 2023 Buick Enclave at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get $1,250 in total savings or 2.9% financing on a 23 Buick Enclave. The 23 Buick Enclave, designed for the road ahead and well-crafted for your refined taste. Test drive a new Buick Enclave and experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. We know that now more than ever, you want to maximize your tax refund, and we're here to help with road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles. They are simply the best used cars you can buy. Plus, our experience and relationships with the banks and lenders helps us get the payment you need while keeping more of your money in your pocket. Maximizing your money, another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Blame those kids. Blame those kids for being kids.
Listen, back in my day, court stormings were sacred. They were reserved for monumental
Back in my day.
type of wins.
Give me a break.
You remember 2017? Back in his day,
Back in my
2017.
day.
Now that I think about it is we're talking about time capsules here on Leap Day, which we get to celebrate / endure every 4 years. I think we actually did bury a time capsule at my elementary school, Terry Elementary in Little Rock. I don't know what became of that, kind of like you were talking about earlier, Tommy. A lot of times you bury a time capsule and then you don't go to the revealing or the unveiling.
It's a generation and a half, or what? A generation, I guess, is 20 years. But if you set it to be dug back up in 25 years, who gets handed that responsibility of, hey, you make sure now in 25 years
I'd forget.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mean to be morbid with everyone this morning, but sometimes people die in that.
Well, usually someone that would be in charge of that is not. You need to put, if you're going to do a time capsule, you need to put someone young in charge of that. But no one stays on the same job for 25 years anymore.
And you
merely
can't.
Me.
You don't. I can remember stuff within the calendar year because I write down my planner, but I'm not going to set a timer in 25 years. It's like, hey, I need to do this.
You wouldn't have had it to set to that. Chuck, think about time capsules. We'll we'll come to that in just a second. What would go in a Razorback time capsule in 99 or now? So, hey, we're brought to you by WT Equipment. Warm up with hot preseason savings on your choice of New Holland equipment right now at WT Equipment. Here's the best deals for you. 0% financing for 60 months or get a free front-end loader on compact tractors. If you want to step up a little bit more and get one of the mid-range tractors, you can get cash back, 0% financing, or choose a hay tool to go along with that, or go all the way to the top end of the best equipment New Holland has to offer with the T7 series and get up to $40,000 back right now with WT Equipment. There's 9 locations, so hurry into WT Equipment today and take home a load of savings when you buy now. Offers in March the 31st. Find a location near you at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Think about just where we were Leap Day 40 years ago. That was, if you remember, Tommy, the first, that was COVID, the first month that I had started the morning rush after the Super Bowl, and then COVID basically happens. It was a lot different 40 years ago on Leap Day than it is now in 2024.
Remember, we just brought SmackDown on the team because you had moved over with me on the mornings. Is that right? Yeah. And he's here like 30 days and COVID hits. I mean, and who knew? I mean, we didn't know that we were even any of us going to have jobs in 30 more days. I mean, no one knew what was happening.
That was a weird time.
That's the last Leap Day, huh?
Yeah. Wow. Ooh. Weird time.
How the world could change, Chuck, in 4 years.
Yeah, things have changed a little bit. I remember, I guess we were getting ready to go to Nashville about this time 4 years ago. You guys were talking about time capsules. I put things in the house. I mean, I put things in drawers in the house so I won't forget where it is, and I'll find it 5 years later. So the idea of remembering a time capsule, I'm not sure I could do that.
It is funny when you're moving. So I haven't moved in, I guess, 3+ years now, and every once in a while I'll open a nook or a cranny that I haven't in quite some time. And like you said, Chuck, there'll be something there that I completely...
Well, forget the move. I mean, just things, I need to remember I put this in this drawer. And then like 5 years later, I put this I put this in here.
You guys have a drawer in the house somewhere that's your drawer? It's got like your junk in it, your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I got one that's got, I don't know why I keep old bills and bank statements and just
stay out of that drawer too.
Yeah. Now they've been.
I know it's 8 years old, and it looks old. It looks like inconsequential. But don't you dare throw it away.
Everything in there is important, and none of it's important.
So the question,
I've got a corner in our dining room that stay out of my drawer.
And we kind of posted a little bit, and we were tossing out some ideas that, like, for example, Troy talked about in the 90s that Charleston, the Tigers, had a time capsule. Greg talked about in the 80s his junior high did one. If you did one in 2024 on this Leap Day, because I think it's kind of a cool, not necessarily tradition, but something you could do on Leap Day that is kind of associated with it. You don't have to unveil it in 4 years, but maybe in 40 years, 10 Leap Days from now, what would you put in the time capsule at this point? Now, the device or something I use the most is just an iPhone. That might be something in 40 years that, like the Nokia back in the day, is out of date and antiquated, and like, why did I ever use this? We'll have something so much more updated, something that's more high-tech in 40 years from now.
But you could play Snake on the old Nokia.
That is point. Snake was a lot of fun. So I would probably say, and this is cliche to put an iPhone in there, but I would like to see what kind of cell phone or tech device we have in 40 years.
iPhone 86.
Yeah. What would you guys put?
If you've got to put if you want something representative of our time and what's going on, guys, don't you have to put a COVID test inside a time capsule right now? Wouldn't you have to?
Well, 4 years ago, maybe. I don't know about now.
I don't know. I mean, it would just be representative of the period.
I think it'd be the iPhone.
Absolutely. That'd have to be in there, too.
I still have one take-home COVID test in my closet.
Yeah, you'd have to have that in there.
My dad
that has shaped the world as much as anything in the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh, no question.
A mask. Yeah, that's a good one, Big C.
I think I'm the only one, not just in the studio right now, but in our company that, what's the phrase that I probably had it, but I didn't
test
know
positive?
Yeah, at any point. Or what?
You were asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic. You didn't have it either, Chuck? Okay. I feel like the majority of my friends, coworkers, family had it at some point. But
it's not over. I mean, you can still get it.
Yep.
Yeah. I know people that still get it now, but it's not like it was.
Yeah.
But so far, I've been lucky. I haven't gotten it.
So if you were also doing it, wouldn't you have to have something Taylor Swift in a time capsule?
Especially with the Chiefs winning not even 3 weeks ago or whatever
back
it was.
Back in the day, you'd put newspaper articles in there.
And that's what Greg says, yeah.
There's no newspaper articles. There's barely, we barely have a newspaper.
My dad.
Well, you print it out. You print it out off your iPad.
I was going to say, Chuck, my dad, it's funny. So my dad is not the biggest tech guy. He likes hard print, reading on the paper, and now he's adjusted because the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette comes in the iPad. So he reads the paper every morning, but he does it on the iPad rather than the actual paper copy. So you could put the iPad of the Arkansas Democrat.
I mean, if we wouldn't need a big time capsule if we did this correctly, because the correct way to do it would be to scan and download everything to an external hard drive and put a computer and a hard drive in there, and you'd only need about a shoebox if you did it right, But that's not much of a fun way to go about a time capsule.
It would be cool to unveil. Chuck, like Tommy and I were going back, and I just remembered again. Mine was in elementary school. Did you say you didn't have one, Tommy? You don't remember one back?
No, I remember doing one. Okay. I don't ever remember
getting
digging it back up. However many years later. That's
Chuck,
what I said. Who's in charge of that?
Yeah.
Who is tasked with remembering? Hey, on this date, 25 years from now, somebody needs to dig the time capsule.
Somebody builds a house on top of it.
Yeah, something that you just forget it's there. But do you remember, Chuck? Did you ever have one of those back in the day when you were growing up that you participated in?
No, we didn't do that then. We didn't do that then. We just didn't. I mean, I'm sure it'd be fun, but we didn't do that.
No, back in Chuck's day, you just mowed the yard and got your butt busted for acting
That's
up
right.
in class.
That's right.
Got hauled down to the principal's office.
No, that was kind of honestly, that's sort of a thing that I've heard of people doing, but they never did it at my school. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, if you do it today, whatever you actually put in, hopefully you remember in 20 or 25 years or whatever, and you're set to try and remember to unveil it at some point. You actually remember to do that, because that's the important part of all this, is remembering, like Troy and Charleston or Greg. Apparently, Greg's unveiling is not till 2036, so his is a 60-year or 50-year.
Put that in your
now, that would be cool. That would be cool.
To see what it's like. His was in 1986 to 2036, so quite a number of
probably a Donna Summer record in there, something in there, something disco, the whole deal.
86.
That's maybe a little past that.
Maybe an Alabama record,
Depends on whether he likes country music.
Yeah. He's talking about, you mentioned the newspaper, compact disc, laptop at work, or some of the things that he remembers back in the day.
I remember, not 86, this wouldn't have been then, but I remember back in the day, we were talking about mid-90s, you had the deal where you would plug it into the cigarette lighter and into the headphone jack on your radio to plug into your CD player that you'd set on the dashboard, so you could actually play a CD in your car, because no cars that any of us could afford to drive came with a CD player. And that was the brand new technology to play music.
Back in they've definitely...
Now cars, here we are, don't even have CD player.
Well, that's when you've got to go, if your car has a CD player, you've got an old car.
Yeah, anymore.
Let's see, we got some text. BA in El Dorado said they did a time capsule back in 1985 in his hometown of Center, Texas. Either you know where Center, Texas is?
In the center of Texas.
That's a good guess on that. Byron says that they did a time capsule back in 1976. He was in 5th grade.
That's the bicentennial year. Yeah.
Help me on that. I'm not familiar with that term.
When did they sign the Declaration of Independence?
1776.
Okay.
By at the time that were considered traitors, but the greatest men that
200 years.
Oh, 200 years.
He's trying to explain to you when it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're over there just rambling on.
200, okay, that makes sense.
Listen.
God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
That's right.
You sound like my dad, which he was 100%
Our
accurate.
200th birthday. So
okay.
Maybe
bicentennial, 200 years.
Maybe George and the boys buried a time capsule.
That's right.
Years. Maybe they dug it up then.
I'm sure there's
There
plenty
would have
of
been moonshine in there.
probably one of those red coats too. All right, JR this morning is on the McLarty Daniel hotline. He's got some thoughts on time capsules. Welcome in, JR.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, JR.
Hey, you know what? I think it would be smart to be able to take some videos of football games, Razorback basketball football games, and put them in a time capsule. Hold on. With it, since NIL started, because they're never going to be the same. those games are never going to be the same since NIL transfer portal started. So that'll be a treasure that you'll be able to
Now,
watch
here's
those
what
games.
you could do, guys. Take a picture of a player driving an old car and put that in a time capsule. Like back in the day when a player actually drove a jalopy.
Or the scooters around campus. You've seen those, the mopeds.
God, I love
Yeah.
I miss my scooter. Oh, the scooter, best investment I've ever made my entire life was Lily back in the day. I love that thing.
Could we put name for your scooter?
Absolutely.
Could we put Houston Nutt's straw hat in there?
That too. Loose pants, Coach Holtz's pants back in the day. Those
So you need a Lou Holtz doll or the the Holtz doll or the Lou Holtz book or anything else he sold back then. Which was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I guess he was a pretty good marketer too, it seemed like. Of course I wasn't around when he was.
That's ultimately why he was not the coach of the Razorbacks anymore. Coach Broyles thought he became too much of a marketer.
Okay.
And one night he was marketing himself on the Tonight Show, and a recruit from St. Louis went somewhere else, and that was that.
Yeah, I've heard that story. So I want to take issue with JR's the end of that call there for a sec, talking about that he feels that games will never, or the teams will never be the same, games will never be the same because of NIL. Guys, if this baseball team goes on and wins the national championship, which I think they're going to do, you guys aren't going to utter a word about NIL. Not a damn word. And it's because the basketball and the football team, basketball team's in the midst of a losing season. The football team lost. That's where your issue is. It's not with NIL, because if they win, you don't care. You care about the win. And again, this baseball team, which has maybe the best pitching staff in the country, which has so many talented players that they plucked out of the transfer portal via NIL, guys they signed out of high school via NIL, you don't care. So again, JR, I get where you're coming from. You're just wrong. You care about the loss. You care about the losing. You don't care about the NIL.
Well, that's going a little bit far. I care about the winning and the losing. I mean, I've been around it a lot. I care very much about the winning and the losing. But I care very much about what's happening to college sports, too.
Yep.
I think you can do both. Arkansas can win the national championship in every sport. And I'm still not going to like the fact that it's going the way it's going. Frankly, if you've got some principle to you, I do think that you've got to look at both issues separately. It's a lot more fun when you're winning, that's for sure. And you do tend to overlook a lot of other things when you're winning. I certainly agree with that. But I don't agree that if your team wins the national championship, you don't care about the big picture anymore. Yeah. I can't go with that.
See, I think all the old guys, and I'm becoming one of the old guys, we don't see any of this as sustainable, Ty. The way it's going, not sustainable. And no one's pumping the brakes. There's no guardrails. Every court decision's going in favor of the players. And this seems to be like a runaway. You've driven through the Smoky Mountains over there going to,
Sir.
you know how you go, you got those runaway truck ramps. Like, I always thought those were neat when I was a kid. If a truck lost its brakes, that's what I feel like college football and college sports has become. Chuck, it's a runaway truck in the Smoky Mountains, and its brakes are gone. And we're looking for the sand pit to run this truck into.
That's a good one.
Everyone fears change, and everyone resists change. And certainly when you've done it a certain way most of your life and it's radically changed, people step back. Now, I want to be clear. I've never been against players being paid. I've never been against that. I've always thought, frankly, a lot of people in the administrative offices were making too much and making it off the backs of those players. So I agree that those players ought to be compensated. And I'll be very clear about that. What I don't like is the fact that there are no guidelines. There are no rules. And if our mission, and I say I'm just talking about society's mission collectively, through college sports is to really develop young people, we are sending them the worst message you could possibly send someone that age. That you get your money up front, that you get something for nothing, that they are going to have a skewed sense of what salaries are like when they get into the real world. And it's going to be sad because they're going to hear no, and they're not going to understand why.
Yeah.
And because they've not been taught the real world. And that's where we're doing these kids a disservice. We're the ones who've screwed it up because we do anything to win because there's nothing like it.
Well, let's be a lot of, and I'm going to speak in very generalities. I'm going to paint with a very broad stroke here. But there's a lot of people in their 30s and 40s and 50s right now that are absolutely pissed off about this because you busted your you-know-what at a dead-end job for 20 years to make $50,000 a year or whatever, and you're watching these kids on TV playing ball, making 10 times that, and it pisses you off. There's a lot of people that have that sentiment.
A lot of people feel like Arkansas is losing because of NIL. That's what they blame. When you hear conversation about, is the football program going to get it turned around? Is the basketball program going through a blip? Or is this going to become a trend? There's a fear that because of NIL, we will continue to lose. And I'm not saying just us. I'm saying lots of fan bases have the fear that because of this, we'll never be able to compete again.
Yeah.
And they may be right.
Oh, I was having that conversation with someone last night, and I keep coming back to, they're talking about all the issues going on, that the public perceives within the basketball program. It's clearly not been a smooth year. Issues with football. Well, it all tracks back to NIL. But I keep asking myself and asking others the question, then why does, every other program is dealing with NIL? Why are they not having issues? I can't believe we're at the very bottom of the barrel in funding.
Listen.
Why are we the only ones having these issues?
The rich get richer, the poor get poorer.
See,
that's how it works with this. You can cite one exception here and there, Ty, but generally speaking in this, the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer.
And that is true. But if you win, people will invest in the football team. We're watching in Oxford, Mississippi.
Well, which comes first?
Well, you have to.
The chicken or egg deal.
Which comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Listen, it's an investment. You have to show this fan base that you are capable of the investment, that they spend their hard work, their blood, their sweat, and tears to those said jobs you talked about, which is exactly what Lane Kiffin has done in Oxford, Mississippi. That fan base is not over what Arkansas could contribute.
How many championships has Ole Miss won?
Just let me finish. They've won 10 games 2 of the last 3 years. They are most likely, and I'm not the biggest believer in Jackson Dart, but he has every piece around him to get to the college football playoff. That being said,
he does have a net jet still now.
He does have that jet too. He literally has everything he needs. If you build something, they will invest. They will invest here in Arkansas. The baseball program is invested in because of what Norm and Dave have built. I'm not saying it's the number one in the country. It's probably not. LSU, there's probably another team out there too. But Arkansas is as competitive as any baseball team in the country for the most part.
So what's the answer then? What's the answer?
You have to make do with what you have and show that you're worth to be invested more in. That's what happened in Oxford, Mississippi.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
And that's what can happen in Fayetteville. Sam Pittman has to show this year. Bobby Petrino, Travis Williams have to show this year that with less, you can still do more. That has always been the Arkansas mantra, with the exception of the early years under Frank, who could go out and get out anyone he wanted. Since then, you've had to change it up, and really since the 90s, since you joined the SEC. Houston Nutt was great at it. He could go pluck a guy out there, get the most out of him, and they wound up in a couple SEC championship games. In some cases, they had no business being in. That is what you have to do as the Arkansas football head coach, and you have to be an excellent on-the-field coach in these situations because you were outmatched and outgunned. And once you do that, once you start to win, you will get more of an investment from this fan base, just like it's happening in Oxford, Mississippi. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Oh, I agree, Ty. I agree 100%. If you win, people will give. But there's only so much you can give. And there's only so much money to go around. And back to your question, before you got going there, back to your question, I do think that for our fans and for a lot of fans, when you're not winning, people think it's because of the NIL. And in some cases, they're right. And that's just the reality of the situation.
It's an easy scapegoat.
Yeah, no question. Hey, Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. They've been my partner in my real estate transactions, and I sure will recommend them to you. I can remember when I was a first-time home buyer, I had no clue about all that went into it. I just thought you found a house, you made a down payment, bang, that was it. I didn't understand all the stuff that went with it, title companies, lenders, inspections. I mean, I was lost. Fortunately, they understood every step that I needed to go through, and I realized now it was rather simple. Then it came time to sell and buy again, and then it got a little bit more complicated, and that's when I was really glad that I had partnered with a professional at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because they understood the market. It's the most money I'd ever spent, and I'll bet it will be for you too. It's important, if you're buying, to understand exactly what you're buying, where you're buying. If you're selling, you want to get every dollar you can get for your home. And at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they walk you through that process. And ultimately, what they do best is get you from contract to close. And you want to get to that close, whether you're a buyer or a seller. And they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington and Benton County. They're in Fort Smith and the River Valley. You hear us talking about their new office in Branson. And you can always log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
Jimmy's in Conway this morning. Jimmy, you got about a minute and a half. Go ahead.
Top of the morning to you, fellas.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, all you gotta do is look at Texas A&M. They said we're going to spend more on NIL than anybody else, and they did, and they still suck. So it's not all about the money.
That's right.
You still got to have somebody that can call the plays and get it done. And they didn't have him, and maybe this new guy is, maybe he's not.
No.
But I'm going to go on a little rant here.
We got their old play caller, so I hope he can call plays.
Elko's a bum. They're going to be the same team they've
Let
been
Jimmy
the last
go.
5 years.
Run, Jimmy. Take it.
They're wanting us to pony up and pay more for NIL, and the university is putting out, we're making this much money off the TV contract from the SEC, and we're getting this money from Pepsi and this money from whatever, you know. They're getting all this big money, and they're wanting me, a working man, to pony up more, and, you know, I'll give, but, you know, I can only go so far. The university needs to chip in or something. I don't understand all that, but it's very aggravating to a working man that the university is saying we're making this, and this, and we need you to give more.
Yeah,
you know, we're going to put you in the end zone and charge you more because it has a chair back. You know, how stupid do you think I am? You know, that's ridiculous. But hey, another NIL deal. You know, SMU paid players in the '80s. It's kind of weird that they're relevant a little bit in football again now that you can pay them again. So, hey, have a great day, guys. Thanks.
Hey, Jimmy got to the heart of the matter there about why people are reluctant with NIL. And I'll tell you this, Ole Miss better win 10 games this year. All that money's going to stop because I guarantee you not all those people were cheerful givers.
Well, their schedule.
I promise.
Yeah, no, you're right. Their schedule.
You can only give so much.
So they have a great opportunity with the way their schedule plays out this year, and they get Georgia at home, which would be a
Jimmy's right, though. Let me say this for the break. The SEC needs to stop bragging about how rich they are while they're asking some of the poorest people in America to give them money to come so their players can drive nicer cars. Jimmy gets to the heart of the matter. People resent that.
I completely understand it. All right, hour 2 coming up. We still got some discussion on this, still more meat on the bone, and we'll get to it at the top of the hour.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV now through the end of February. We're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Get ready for a new year of work with limited time savings on Bobcat equipment at Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas and Rogers. Get as low as 0% for 72 months on a Bobcat compact tractor, or choose a free front-end loader when you buy with cash. Special offers are also available on Bobcat zero-turn mowers with financing as low as 0% for 48 months, or rebates up to $900 on select models. Call Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas or come by to get these great deals. Hurry, these offers end March 31st. Some exclusions apply.
Tommy Kraft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using an Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
This is the Morning Rush.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Drive a third-row SUV that is style in motion with the 2023 Buick Enclave at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get $1,250 in total savings or 2.9% financing on a 23 Buick Enclave. The 23 Buick Enclave, designed for the road ahead and well-crafted for your refined taste. Test drive a new Buick Enclave and experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith. Perhaps the world.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Subiaco and Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco and Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly cloudy sky in place with a chance of some rain. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the lower 50s. Rain showers, a little bit of snow possible across the north overnight. Will drop down into the low to mid 30s. Sunshine returning on Friday, our high upper 50s to near 60. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
I like the fact that there's going to be more opportunities for teams to get in, the not-so-usual suspects. I like that. I don't think it's going to change guys much who wins it. I think you're going to still see the same teams 90% of the time winning the championship, but it does give a few more teams a chance to get in it and play and have an opportunity. It's more inclusive, if you will.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And we welcome you back into hour number 2 of a Too Stupid Thursday edition of the Morning Rush. That was Chris Lowe, who we had on yesterday, ESPN.com, talking college football playoff. We also got into the NIL discussion, who we just had from Jimmy and Conway. And we'll circle back to that as we start this hour. Steven and Hope's waiting patiently on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. I know he has some thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, we want to, Chuck, we want to hear from you a little bit later on. It was a low moment in the season the other night at home against Vanderbilt. We hadn't heard your thoughts on that yet. We need to get to that as well later on. Hey, we're brought to you by Oaklawn Sports, the best sports betting app in Arkansas. Brought to you by the brand new Trust in Oaklawn. New funding and withdrawal options are available now. You can use your MasterCard and Visa debit cards, credit cards, PayPal. You can ACH in and out of the account. And if you're at Oaklawn for live racing or to the casino, you can easily withdraw and deposit funds in your Oaklawn Sports account. They just make it easy and lots of different options. Sign up today. First bet insurance up to $250. We know that March Madness is right around the corner. The NBA playoffs are not far away. The Masters is on its way. And, hey, if you like parlays or single games, check out their alternate lines for each game where you can buy and sell up to 10 points. Bet with the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
Steven, welcome in this morning, man. You had some thoughts you wanted to share on this discussion.
Yes. First of all, I love sports, but the way a lot of people I've talked to about that doesn't like it is for the kids what you were raised on. Education means everything. And the ones that stayed up all night studying and stuff are still having to pay bills in college, but the ones that might not have to study so much but can run the ball better gets paid and you don't, while you're sitting there in college with debt, and you're doing it because you want to get an education. And also the cheerleaders and band players that do practice their skills too and have to travel with the football players, but they're not going to get paid either, but they still got, loans and stuff like that. I'm just thinking about, to me, when they start paying the college players, that it's showing that education is not as important as if you can run the ball. And that's just my point. And I'm sorry. I love sports, but that's just why I've heard by a lot of people.
I don't think you're the only one who feels that way. I'm glad you got a young Morning Rush listener with you in the car this morning, it sounds like. I think, again, that's the band and cheerleader reference. That's not a new thing. Like that's been the way for quite some time. Jocks have always had superiority in junior high schools, college. I mean, it's just part of it. Like that's not a new thing. In terms of, again, the education aspect, it's fallen by the wayside the last couple of years, but I mean, it is reaching the newest of lows when it comes to the valuing of that aspect in college.
Well, from the outside looking in, I'm sure that people sometimes would view it that way. I've wondered how long it would take for the backlash to begin on NIL. Now, it's starting. It's beginning with programs that aren't winning, like ours. That's where it starts. But Jimmy talked about something a minute ago that I felt for a while. And since he brought it up, I'll just, run with it a minute. The SEC does have to stop bragging about how rich they are. Because most people don't understand the difference between how much an athletic department makes and an NIL fund.
Right.
One can't go into the other. Now, they should change that rule. They could change it tomorrow. The reason they don't is because a lot of people in the administrative buildings would lose their job because they would be victims of budget cuts.
Right.
And that's, they could change it tomorrow, but they're not going to do that at the NCAA level, at least right now. There's going to have to be some kind of revenue share. But back to the original point. When players buy Lamborghinis and put it on social media, if I was a head coach, I'd threaten them with a penalty of death for doing that. Let's be very honest. There are a lot of Razorback fans that were happy to see KJ Jefferson go, in part because of the clothes and the bags and the cars, and they didn't come with 9 or 10 wins. And when he decided to go, a lot of people said good riddance. And a lot of it was because of the things that were out there on social media regarding the things that he bought. Now, the idea that you're going to be able to throw insane money at kids and have them not brag about it, have them not put their new car on social media, you're living in a fantasy world. And I think it goes to the heart of the issue here. I work around a lot of these people. They're good people. They really are. But they have no clue how the real world operates. I worked in college athletics for a while. It's fantasy land. There's money to burn. You want to hire somebody? Well, let's just create a title. We'll find the money. Hey, that happens every day.
Yep.
And it's somebody else's money. And it's a fantasy world. But real people don't live in that world. And the people that you're asking to help support your NIL don't live in that world. And there is a disconnect that people in college athletics are just totally lost on. They don't get it. And when your team doesn't win, it's even further compounded. That's why this is not sustainable. That's why it's not sustainable. It's a bad business plan, number one. But the average fan, and by average fan, I'm talking about a fan of means who can give to your program. They're going to realize, and they're already realizing, that in some respects, this is a scam.
Mm-hmm.
This is a scam. I'm being scammed. And that's what a lot of them are thinking. There is such a disconnect, though, that colleges and universities, their people don't realize this. They don't realize it. They don't understand it. They think everybody lives like they do. And that's just not the real world.
And just to be clear, to Jimmy's point about why doesn't the U of A invest that said money in NIL funds?
He didn't really ask that, but that's the reason.
He was alluding to it. And again, you can't based on the rules that are set up. Now, like you said, they could
But you could change that rule
Yes,
tomorrow.
and that's the whole rub on this is that but the NCAA doesn't want schools to have student athletes become employees because there's other things that are entangled and come along with that at some point. But yeah, when you see the SEC send out that email or they brag about it on social media or the university talks about how much they've received and so that does irritate people. And I get it.
The old Southern way is to never let them know how much you've really got.
Yeah. But
and we've gotten away from that. And the people that they're asking, there's always so much new money. It's almost like you're depending on new money now.
Yeah.
And as you said, depending on the money from the people that probably have the least to give to those that brag about having.
There ain't many high-rises in the South.
Right.
It's just a little different down here.
Yeah. All right, more to come on this. We're brought to you by the Smithwick Original suspending Rattling Rogue. We can go to Beaver Lake or Table Rock and have some success. The White River's the place to be with that Rogue right now. It's got that famous rolling action that's been around for a long time that suspends in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch that big bass or that big brown trophy rainbow on the White River right now as well. You can find the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LearnNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
We got our Morning Rush Daily Question coming up. Tom Murphy also joins us this hour, and you've got some more thoughts on this. Jump in via the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel Hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jones Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jones Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon.
You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world.
Recess? I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
All right, we'll come back to the NIL discussion at some point. Tom Murphy's set to join us in just a bit, and we'll continue to get some feedback from you guys, and we'll also talk some basketball coming up. But for now, didn't get to this yesterday, Tommy. It's car keys and small change day. Everyone has their either orthodox or unorthodox way of how they carry their stuff, how they carry stuff on their person each and every day. Where do you put your keys, wallet, and phone? In which pocket?
Generally carry my phone, keys go in the right pocket, and I don't keep change in my pocket.
Keys and wallet are always in my left pocket, and the phone is in my right. I know many guys, and this is more of a your generation, Chuck's generation, Clay's generation thing, that they keep the wallet in their back pocket. I heard that causes back problems when I first started carrying a wallet, so I didn't do that. But that's
not if you have a thin wallet like ours. You got a fat wallet like yours, you probably have sciatica.
I have a lot of business cards in there, Chuck. There's no cash ever, credit cards or anything, but there are business cards to try and drum up business from time to time.
You're young. You're young.
I'm young, and I'm.
Your wallet will grow much, much smaller as you get older.
Yeah, get kids. See how thin
I keep mine in my back pocket, iPhone in the left pocket, keys in the right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But isn't that unique?
Pretty routine.
Three guys right here. Big C, I'm guessing you do it differently as well. Three guys have all different ways of how they carry stuff. You would think there would be this like universal way of how you carry your stuff that's important to you on a person, but everyone does it differently.
Yeah. I've got to get a new wallet. I mean, mine is like ancient. I don't carry it. It's an old school, like bifold, big, long. It's too thick.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Like your granddad's wallet.
No, it's worse than that. Because I'm still one of the rare creatures that keep a checkbook register.
Yeah.
And I
you write it down?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And
you don't?
Here's the other thing.
It worries me
what
that
they've
you
got
don't.
online statements for, man.
Thank you. He has chastised me.
What if
He has
they're wrong?
ripped me a new one for.
What if they're wrong?
Listen,
It's right there on your phone.
this steel trap, this Venus flytrap memory,
whatever.
I can have at the top of mind anytime I need to remember something. It's right here.
Hey.
It's registered. It's good to go.
I don't know. If they ever quit printing check registers that they'll give you for free.
Do you still have it mailed to your house? You still have your statements mailed to your house?
No, I do get those online.
Okay.
Because
that is really old school.
We were talking about the junk drawer. I have a junk drawer. I need to get a fire going in the fire pit and burn a bunch of old bank statements.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but no, I still keep a check register.
Well, we're getting some text on this. Cody from Levac.
And it worries me that y'all don't.
The good thing is, Chuck, whenever we're with him, he picks up the tab, so I don't have to ever worry about that aspect.
That's the truth.
Cody from Levaca says his keys don't leave his ignition. You know how he probably has the push to start, or he keeps it in the console and just starts his wallet, his phone, stay in his back pocket. Andy in Mountain Home suggests that I carry a man purse. I will never do that. I have had the same.
You'd have to be a man first.
I am a man.
I can't do the phone in the back pocket thing. I can't do that.
Listen,
I only put it there when my hands are full. I can't because I'm not going to sit on my phone.
Wallet, keys, gum in the left pocket, phone in the right, easily accessible.
Listen, if I'm in a crowd, nothing goes in the back pocket of value because that's how you get pickpocketed.
No, like when you're in New Orleans, when you're walking around New Orleans, my hands are in my pockets the entire time.
Well, I just put my money or whatever in my front pocket. I don't carry my wallet. I just carry credit cards and cash.
Those fancy pants Ty wears, he's got the zip in the back, and he's got 5 pockets. He's got a secret pocket in the front.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big cargo guy, but no one's
That's
ever.
where he keeps his blade.
Hey, I do like. I'm gonna tell you though, I do like the because we're all a fan of the Lululemons. They have the zipper inside the back pocket on some of the ones. Yeah, that's the key right there. So in those ABC pants, you can unzip the back pocket and put your cash in there. I mean, they may be a good pickpocket, but they ain't getting in that zipper.
Quinn says, Tommy, you need to try the Ridges wallet. It's a great wallet. Now, is that is the Ridges one the like a money clip type of thing?
Here's what I got now. This is what my dad used to do. I got a binder clip from the just an old binder clip.
Yeah.
That's what I got my cash.
A fancy one.
Buddy of ours, he put he calls it his Armani. He's got one just like it's his Armani money clip.
Michael at Cave Spring says his, like you, Tommy, his father-in-law still uses a checkbook register, so you're not the only one. Tyler says, Tommy, his dad is the same way, so there's no problem with that.
Well,
but Tommy's 46.
I wish
it's not like he's 75.
Well, listen, as someone that, like, when I look at my check, I want everything to be right, and there's only been like one time. So I'm anal about certain things, and I get it from that. You want to make sure that.
Listen, neither one of you guys. I mean, I don't know. You're not married. I can't speak for how Chuck does his thing, but you don't have a spouse with a debit card out there doing business.
Thank God.
Yeah. So
as frugal as I am.
So I've got to keep things in a little more of an order.
Let me tell you something. The first heart attack I will ever have, and it's coming. My grandpa had multiple. I hope it skips my dad's generation. I hope it skips him and my uncle, because it's coming to me, because I eat and drink a lot worse than either of those two do. But the first one I have is going to be when my future wife goes berserk on a credit card, and it causes me to have an aneurysm when I get that notification on my phone that $400 was spent at Target on a Wednesday.
That all?
That's all it's going to take.
Let me offer you a little bit of advice that I wish someone had offered me. Take a walk around the house before you open your mouth on that. Take a little walk around the house and then come back and talk. Don't talk first. I've been there.
Yep.
Speaking first, having an aneurysm, going nuts, doesn't work. Doesn't work.
I used to.
Makes you feel better, though.
Yeah.
Well, not really.
Is that
because you've had an aneurysm and it still didn't work?
Yeah.
Is that where you pull something you used to do in your childhood? Like, let's say that my dad would give me a baseball bat to go hit the tree out back. Is that where I do that? Let a little anger out on the tree.
Go to the driving range.
Well, you need a shop. You need a shop.
Yep.
You need a studio away from the house.
Yes.
You need a place to go.
Yeah, that's a scary.
Go to the garage.
Somewhere alone to just scream and yell at certain point.
Just think before you speak.
It is coming. I have not missed it since being here about 5.5 years. I have not missed a day. So just know that day is coming at some point that I will miss because of an excess spending from the future Mrs. Richardson, and I will again have that heart attack. So
I hope
that.
we all live long enough to see the future Mrs. Richardson.
Oh, you will. It's
well,
coming
you better
at some
get
point.
a date.
Let's
get a date.
I've set a hard.
Let's walk before we run.
I've set a hard date before we get to Tom. By 35 years old, if I'm not married, then there is a problem, and there may be a problem.
Well, we're already headed that.
That is a
way.
hard date. By 35, December 11th. What is that? 2029, I think. If we're not married,
countdown's on.
Maybe
You're on the clock,
Chuck. I'm thinking the future Mrs. Richardson's going to have a lucrative NIL deal to sign this letter.
Dream date with Ty.
Yeah.
That should be our next
spring book promotion right there.
That's right.
We're going to win the
dream
spring
date
sweeps
with Ty Richardson.
Be the best promotion we've ever had on this radio
All the
station.
places you have trade. You could hit them all in one night.
Oh man, yeah,
just take her to CJ's. That'll close the deal.
That'd be the best. That'd be a great first
Baby,
date.
you can get all the grilled onions and bacon you want. Have at it.
And a milkshake too. I'm going all out. Again, our morning rush daily question. It was car keys and small change day yesterday. Didn't get to it.
Somehow we got into your marriage, your nuptials as a result.
Future, yeah, at some point.
Y'all carry change? I don't carry.
No, it's in my car. It's in a small little console. I have it prepared in case I hit a toll road, which Tulsa now and in Oklahoma has completely eliminated the actual insert change. Now they just have the toll tag like every other state.
You don't have a pike pad?
No, you've told me about that. Listen.
It's good in Texas. It's good in Oklahoma.
I told you about the known travel number, which you has since got because it's 5 years, $99. As much as we fly, great deal. It seems like the Pike Pass, as much as I drive between Oklahoma and Texas, is just a worthy investment.
It's not even an investment. You're going to spend more money not having.
Yeah, that's a good.
It's one of those things after you buy it, you think, man, I wish I'd done this a long time ago.
Well, I need to do it because I'm going to Dallas this weekend, and I'm not going to have it. So maybe I'll buy one right before I head down there. Again, that's our Morning Rush Daily Question. It's presented by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs.
Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by V's Barbershop with 2 locations in Rogers and Bentonville. Visit V's Barbershop online at vbarbershop.com or in person and see why V's is a cut above the rest.
Perfect segue to our friend Tom Murphy, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Tom, how do you go about carrying your keys and wallet as we welcome you in here on a Too Stupid Thursday?
Some of the things I walk into are pretty incredible. Keys, front left pocket or jacket pocket left, and I'm a front wallet guy. Ever since I was in New Orleans as a teenager, I decided I didn't want a back pocket because we heard about all the pickpocketing. So I'm a front pocket guy.
Okay.
Smart man.
Well, basketball-wise, I want to start there because we haven't really spent much time in an hour and a half.
Tom got pickpocketed by Vandy the other night. That's what happened.
Yeah. Tom, what, again, Vanderbilt hadn't scored 80 all year. They put 85 on you. They hadn't won a road game all year. They won at Bud Walton Arena. You have the same record under Muss against Cal and Stackhouse at 3-3. Why do you have so much trouble with the Vanderbilt Commodores basketball? Not the baseball team, the basketball team.
That is a great question. I wish I knew. Maybe it's the professional connection that Stackhouse and Muss have both been in the pros so much that maybe Stack has some kind of insight into how Musselman does things. I don't know, but his team, Arkansas made that big closing run, and they held them off. The three-point play was a big deal. There were way too many offensive putbacks and stuff like that. And for Vandy, you have to give them credit. They're down there. They have to win the conference tournament, which they're not going to do. And they hung in there on the road. And it's just amazing that the same issue has cropped up here and there. Just, getting beat on the dribble on offense and then, not securing enough defensive rebounds that it ends up costing you. And of all the downers this year, that's probably the worst downer. And they could have gotten past Georgia, and then A&M is right there, one game ahead. And if they'd gotten past Georgia and then somehow, got hot down the stretch, they'd have gotten out of the Wednesday game or the first round of games at the SEC tournament. And now, who knows if that's possible.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the standings right now. If you win the other night, obviously you're 6-9, and you'd be tied with Ole Miss and A&M, and I think they get you tied for 8th right now, but you're really kind of tied for 9th or 10th. But anyway, it would put you in that position. Now it seems like with the schedule ahead, it will be impossible to get out of the first night of the SEC tournament.
Kentucky and Alabama are both gaining steam. Both of those on the road. That's really tough. It's a big payback game against LSU, and maybe they can get that one at home. But, yeah, it does seem tough. And had they just been able to beat Vanderbilt, they would have changed the positioning. But it's just one of those deals. It's been a rough year, and there's been a few results like that have just been kind of head-scratchers. Start with an opening game of conference play, losing by 30 to Auburn. Yeah, Auburn's a really good team, but 31 is just unbelievable.
Yeah, like getting beat 50 in football. But, hey, you look at Khalif Battle in the last two games he's had, no pun intended, but what kind of battle is this program in for to keep him with the NIL out there? Do you foresee a lot of suitors for his transfer?
Well, is that the way it's supposed to work?
No.
Team X reaches out to Khalif Battle and is like, hey, we'll pay you this. That's not the way it's supposed to work, but I guess through intermediaries and such, that's the way it does work. But, he's a guy you'd love to have back because his scoring prowess. You could kind of build up your offense around him. He's great at drawing fouls. It took him a while to get on the defensive game plan, clearly, because he had some games he didn't play or he played very scant minutes. And now he and Tremont Mark are the big scoring threat. It's the interior. That zone messed Arkansas up. It just did. And they've had decent battle plans against the zones in various games, and they've done okay. But Mekhi Mitchell not scoring, the head scratcher.
Yeah, that free throw the other night where Arkansas did not get the rebound after had it set up, the missed free throw attempts, and then free throws are set up for the opponent to get the rebound, and somehow Arkansas with mismatches and with the rotation they had on the floor doesn't get the rebound there. What did you make of that sequence, which I thought was large in the game the other night?
Well, it was huge because if you get that rebound, you've got 21 seconds left, and you're down 3. And there's a lot of possibilities from there. You could tie it with a 3. You could try to go 2 and foul, early. I mean, it gives you a lot more options than being down 6. And it's just one of those that in the moment, Vin Allen Lubin just had he wanted it a little bit more, and he got in the proper position, and you found him going up. So just that was a game changer right there.
What did you make of Arkansas's smaller lineup that was on the floor in that moment when you had to have a rebound?
Well, I mean, I think you're thinking about having 3-point shooters on the floor at that point, and your guards are going to be more likely to do that. So I guess it was just a calculated risk that Muss took at that point to, and it didn't work out on the box outs.
Tom Murphy's with us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Tom, let's shift to baseball. You got Murray State in town this weekend. I was listening to Phil talk about it. Racers have hit the ball pretty decent at this point of the season. Are you expecting starting pitching to kind of do what they've done through the first 2 weeks?
Well, it's going to be warmer, and hopefully that'll play well for Hagen Smith. And he gave no excuse for that first game when it was in the 30s, and his grip probably wasn't what he wanted it to be, but he gave no excuse. But then he turned around and threw the 6 innings with 17 strikeouts. It was just phenomenal against a really good hitting Oregon State team. They have a look of a team that can go a long way this year. So Arkansas starting pitching was phenomenal last weekend. Molina was on his game. Tigert was on. I mean, that's 3 aces. And if those guys stay healthy, they can take you a long way. But now the hitting's got to come around more. The Grambling game being somewhat of an anomaly against, not the greatest pitching staff. So they're going to have a battle on their hands. James Madison got 1 out of 4. And but if the pitchers show up and throw like they did in Arlington, then the odds for a sweep are a lot stronger in your favor.
Do you care about what the baseball team does in non-conference play, or is it just about what they do in the SEC?
Well, having a huge non-conference record is a big deal for your eventual seeding and that kind of stuff, and what your overall record looks like. And obviously they're on a huge homestand. I think they have 10 more, and you don't want to be losing games at home to non-cons. So the more you can keep that down, the better. I mean, LSU's already got a loss to Stony Brook, but and they're a national championship team from last year. So you can do whatever at the end of the season. Ole Miss proved that by skeeching into the tournament and then winning it all. But the route of doing it at home in the regionals and super regionals on paper is so much easier. And Arkansas certainly got in Omaha, not via that route, but it's easier at home.
Tom, let's before we go, let's come back to Hagen Smith. Clay was with us yesterday morning. We were talking about what the value was of his performance down in Arlington, and we came to the conclusion that, hey, he was the top 15 guy going into that game, despite 1 inning and 1 outing. That's a blip on the radar. He probably moved up more than anyone ever did with one performance because of the metrics, because of the velocity, because of the velocity on the slider late. Clay was thinking this was maybe a $7 or $8 million night for him from the standpoint of draft capital. What do you think the value was of Hagen Smith's performance in front of 40 some odd scouts, in front of against a great opponent? It might be the most valuable single game performance if you really think about what he did for himself.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I'm not inside baseball to tell you the exact dollar figure, but yeah, if that moves you up into the top 5, top 8 picks, then yeah, you could put a substantial price tag on that. And $7 or $8 million, that's probably not a stretch. So good on him, that he didn't let the 1 inning outing against James Madison throw him back. He was on his game. I've never seen anything like 15 strikeouts in 5 innings. I had guys who cover other teams around the country texting me like, what is Hagen Smith doing? Are you watching this? Like, yeah, I'm watching this. And the baseball guys. And so that was really cool to see.
Yeah. Tom, appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch up on Tuesday.
Sounds like a plan. See ya.
Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat, is at Whole Hog Sports with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Chuck, I had not thought about it in the terms Clay presented yesterday, but you think about being already a valuable top half of the first-round pick, but you go to top 5 perhaps with that kind of performance, you can put a real dollar to that. And it was a meaningful outing that Hagen Smith had, but he does have to I don't say follow it up with 17 more strikeouts in the next outing, but he does have to stay somewhat consistent in SEC play to keep that value.
Well, yeah, I mean, the draft's not held today.
Right.
But, having said that, he has shown that he has that in him, and he did it in a big environment, in similar weather, to what he'll do as a major league pitcher, at least the majority of the season. I'm not saying if he goes 0-8 the rest of the year that, this is going to move him up 7 or 8 spots, but he's not going to go 0-8 the rest of the year. He's probably not going to have a game like this ever again in his life. But they've seen what's in him. And it's almost as though now, go have a great year. Don't get hurt. We know what you can do. And unless something dramatic changes, you're a top 10 pick now. And the way they've got that slotted, yes. I mean, you can jump very quickly, from a 15 up to even a 7 or an 8 or even a 10. That money goes up in a hurry right there. V's Barbershop, here's talking about them every week. If you want to get ready for the weekend, if you want to look good, if you want to just take a little step back in time for a minute, V's Barbershop's the place to go. They've got 2 locations in Northwest Arkansas. Now, look, it's new. They've got televisions. I'm not saying that you're walking into an old-timey barbershop, but you are going to have that feel because they're going to be the hot towels and the leather chairs, and you're going to have that nostalgic barbershop feel when you walk in. You are going to think about maybe when you were younger and you went every week, just a ritual. Maybe you went with someone every week. But there are also the new things, too. There are televisions there, and that is nice. We do like our creature comforts, and they've got those available at V's Barbershop, too. It's way beyond your traditional haircut, the services that they offer. And, again, 2 locations in Northwest Arkansas. They're in the Pleasant Crossing Shopping Center in Rogers. They're on Southwest 14th Street in Bentonville. It's right off 71B. 2 locations in West Little Rock, and you can always log on to vbarbershop.com.
I'll say that in Arkansas's had a series of great Friday night starters. I think back to Nick Schmidt, back when you were calling games and kind of your all-star ace. There's not a Friday night you fear. There's not one you're like, man, that, Skeens or that particular pitcher from LSU or somewhere else. I don't know. There's not a Friday night on your SEC schedule, if Hagen Smith's going right now, that you say that game's going to be unwinnable.
Well, we've been the benefit of, Dave, the last just like 5 or 6 years. You think about Blaine Knight, who technically didn't lose a game, Isaiah Campbell, who I think lost 1 to Kentucky that near, and now Hagen Smith, who you're not expecting to lose many, if any, games the rest of the season. There are some pitchers in the SEC we don't know about just yet, just because we don't pay the same attention to college baseball like we do football and basketball. But yeah, Hagen, that performance, I don't know if he'll be able to duplicate what he did on this past Friday. That's going to be hard to do, but he is as talented a guy that Dave's had on that campus. And it always seems like, kind of off note, it always seems like you lose to a lefty in the College World Series or in the postseason. It's nice that you have 2 of them in your starting rotation that maybe will be the benefit rather than the con when they're going up against another opponent.
Right.
Hey, Hagen Smith's really good, and he's going to win a lot more than he loses. The thing that I think gives him a chance to be good is Tigard on Saturday. I think that, Smith obviously has a chance to get you off to a good start, but those Saturday games can get crazy sometimes, and those are the games when you look back on those kind of determine the series a lot of the time.
All right, the Hog Update is coming up. Quick word about Gaston's White River Resort, the place to kick back and unwind and relax. Spring break coming up. If you're looking for a few days, hey, I can't do the whole week, but I got a few days I can do in the middle of the week or a weekend. Now's the time to book that private cabin or lodge and really enjoy it with your family. Get one of their expert guys to take you and the kids out, or maybe you're a grandparent, you want to take the kids for a few days on spring break. Now's the time to get all that set up and arranged with Jacob and Cheryl and any of the staff there. 870-431-5202 is the number. It's all at Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
I'm a hugger.
Through and through?
Yep.
I never get a hug from you. What's that about?
I'm selective with them.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV now through the end of February. We're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right. You pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wills RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in. This offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wills RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wills RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
We got to show them we are the University of Arkansas.
0.9% financing on a new 23 or 24 GMC Sierra at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 off with factory rebates on a new GMC Sierra truck, or take $3,750 off with 0.9% financing or 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on Sierra 1500s, 6.2-liter engine excluded. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is the reigning champion of my own conference, Robert.
You do realize that's not a thing.
Well, I did receive a plaque commemorating that accomplishment.
Yeah, and I was elected the president of Mars. Anyway, Hog fans, it's that time again.
It's baseball season. And Hog fans, the Stadium Shop has everything you need for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts, sweatshirts, man cave stuff, and even a Razorback original, the Bases Loaded beer hats.
Plus, ladies, as well as a restocked women's section. We have the Bases Loaded beer stein boppers.
Yeah, it's kind of like those old-time space alien antennas, you know.
Yeah, well, not really.
So when you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road, next door to Baum Walker Stadium, or you can shop us on them WW Interweb Facegram. You get it, Matthew.
Dad, do you mean the website?
Yeah.
Which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486.
As always,
go Hogs!
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South C Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Razorbacks have completed the dream season.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, let's get in your Hog Update this morning. You got SEC basketball legends that were just announced recently, and Arkansas is going to have Derek Hood honored at the SEC tournament in basketball. Derek played in the late 90s for Nolan Richardson. This Arkansas basketball team was one of the more athletic players that coaches ever had. So congrats to Derek, who's going to be honored in Nashville at the SEC tournament, guys, at halftime during Arkansas's first game of the tournament, and then also halftime during the first semifinal game on Saturday.
Well, good. It's I'm glad they're going to honor him now during their team's games. I remember one year they honored some legends, I think maybe on Thursday or Friday of the tournament, and like half the guys, their schools had already been eliminated and gone home, and there was nobody there to cheer for them. So I think they changed that somewhere along the way and decided to make certain that the legend was introduced when that team was playing.
You don't want them being booed by opposing fan bases. I mean, because I got to be honest, if they're honoring a Kentucky legend, I'm probably not cheering.
Well, here's the thing, though. Can you imagine? I mean, the competitor in you. Yeah. You're 45, 50 years old, and the other guys are still booing you. Yeah. I mean, after all this time, they still hate me. What? I mean, if you're a Kentucky guy, to have a Tennessee fan boo you after all these years, or vice versa, I would think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. What is it Musk says? They don't boo nobodies?
Yeah.
So. That's exactly right.
Here's some of the notable names on there. Torian Green was a really good player who's on that Florida national championship, 2 national championship games, excuse me. Tubby Smith getting honored, former Kentucky coach, and also Chris Lofton, who is one of the best shooters that has ever come through this league, old Tennessee guard that played with Dane Bradshaw back in the day, some of the more notable guys that are getting honored. But
we were so close to getting him.
Really?
We were so close to getting him.
What happened? Do you remember the context of what happened?
I don't remember all of it. There was some stuff that went on.
Well, I'll fill in the blanks. Tennessee paid him.
It was us or them.
Yeah,
it was us or them at the end. It was us or them.
They had a bag man.
Yeah. And in McDonald's bag.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it was. Dudley can tell you probably better than anybody, but it was down to us and them.
I love watching him play, and I still remember that SEC tournament game where Stephen Hill hit a turnaround jumper and Lofton missed it at the end, and we ended up beating him. I think it was the quarterfinals, if I remember that right.
At Georgia Tech, I believe it was the semifinals. That was the year of the tornado.
Okay, it was the semis, so they went to the
I believe that's right.
They went to the championship that year. Okay, all right.
They played
Arkansas played Georgia
that year.
Georgia had to win what? 2 in a day. I remember all the details.
Georgia won 4 games to win the tournament.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And we played in Georgia Tech's gym.
Yep.
I was that one. It was. You might have just said that one. The tornado year. That was the tornado year.
Tornado.
Okay. Yeah. My brain froze for a sec.
I believe that was.
Believe that's right. Other news here in your Hog Update. Hagen Smith won the Golden Spikes Award Performance of the Week. You've had 2 Golden Spikes winners from Arkansas, Benintendi and Kevin Kopps. Hagen, if he keeps pitching like he did on Friday night, definitely going to be in that discussion. Other baseball news, David Horn shared earlier this week a timeline for Peyton Stovall. Here's what he said in regards to the Arkansas infielder.
So I'll just say right in the middle. I'll say 5. So maybe a couple more weeks, but he's moving around good. He's throwing, swinging the bat off a chair, whatever we can do to just keep him going. And as soon as he gets cleared where he can start seeing live pitching, we'll have some of our guys throw to him. Plus, he's standing in on guys getting loose in their bullpens. We're just putting a screen in front of him, so we don't want him to try to jump out of the way with a broken foot, or get hit in the foot again. But everything we can to speed him up, he's trying to do. He wants to play, and he's already told me when I get back in the lineup, I'm never coming out. So I hope that's the case.
It's going to be interesting to see how he moves the infield, who gets either yanked or maybe moved in that position at some point, because it's going to be about 6 weeks.
I think a lot of people believe McLaughlin stays at first, you put Stovall at second, Aloy, and then Holt over at third, right?
Yeah, Spraglot didn't have the best weekend in the infield. It was accounted for, I think, 4 errors. Phil was talking about it should have only been given 2. That might have been scored wrong, but that is when Stovall does come back, I'm curious how Dave kind of shuffles that infield a little bit.
Defense is going to be the difference between being in a position to win this thing at the end in Omaha and not. They've got pitching. Hitting will come around. I'm not worried about that. They've signed so many good players. And these hitters will hit. I don't have any doubt about that. You always have to shore that defense up. That was the one thing that I saw coming out of. I'm not concerned about the hitting. The pitching's going to be fine too. Situational defense. Pop-ups to center field with a man at third who catches the ball. Sometimes routine plays. How do you handle defense in key situations? That, to me, is what has separated and will continue to separate the teams that win it all. You don't bash your way to a national title, and you don't one-hit your way or no-hit or, shutout after shutout your way to a national title. It just doesn't happen. At some point it catches up with you. But if you play great defense every day, and you are good, really good offensively and really good on the mound, and you're really good defensively, those are the teams that stand at the end.
All right, well, that's
not to open a wound, but we all remember a defensive play down the first base line that was the difference. So.
Yeah. All right, last thing here. Woop Pig Classic this weekend. So you had the Razorback Classic last weekend for softball. Now you got the Woop Pig Classic this weekend. They start their games today. First pitch against South Dakota at 4 o'clock. All games. Last weekend they weren't on SEC Network Plus. This weekend they are. So, again, all of them on SEC Network Plus. They play SEMO and FAU at 3 and 5:30 on Friday, and then they'll play South Dakota State on Saturday, and then SEMO on Sunday at 12:15. So, plenty of softball this weekend if you want to watch. They had nearly 3,000 people for, I think, opening day this last weekend. I would expect with the weather. Last time I checked, you're supposed to have pretty good weather this weekend as well. It's kind of coming back. Last 2 days been a little colder than it's been, but should have some good weather here in Northwest Arkansas this weekend. All right, that's your Hog Update, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-SPARKY.
Gentlemen, it's Frog Legs Day. What is the most crazy, off-the-wall, unorthodox stuff you ever had food-wise? Mine's not over the top, I don't think. I've just had the Rocky Mountain oysters, the bowl, you-know-whats. I don't think that's too nuts. I was trying to... I didn't mean to say that.
Well played. Accidentally. That's an accidental pun. That's an accidental pun.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of just some wild... or stuff that I haven't had. That's the only one that came to mind. Maybe I've lived a too simple of a life. Maybe I need to be more adventurous and more gallivanting when I travel. But that was the only thing that I was like, man.
Order something besides chicken tender stuff.
Yeah, or pizza.
Venture out and do something that doesn't have ranch dressing on the side.
So, okay, that being said, I'm getting some advice.
Chicken tenders and ranch dressing is good.
Thank you, Chuck. What should I try? What is it? Frog legs I've had. It's been a while, but I do enjoy frog legs. Give me a food item that I need to try.
Crawfish.
That I have.
You had crawfish.
That's easy. I've had crawfish, lots of crawfish over the years. But what is something that
done rabbit?
I don't think I've had rabbit.
Where is it down there? Gillette? Where is it down there that does the
coon supper? The Gillette coon supper.
I think we should send.
Yeah, have you had coon?
Like raccoon?
Yeah, that's what coon.
The coon supper. We need to send you down there to that.
The coon supper.
I've heard of the oyster supper in Slovak, but
squirrel. You done squirrel?
I've done squirrel.
Okay.
I guess that's a little.
Everybody who's anybody has been to the Gillette coon supper.
You've
not arrived until you've been there.
It's an election year, so it will be.
It'll be packed.
It will be packed with candidates.
It'll be packed. They'll all want to meet you.
I've had rattlesnake. Jerry texted on the McLarty Dana Hotline.
Alligator.
I've had alligator. Those didn't seem off the wall to me.
Tastes like chicken.
Does it? Okay, so raccoon and rabbit. That's what I need to try moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to do that. In 2024, I will try raccoon and rabbit. You heard it here first.
Let's hear your reviews.
I'm
anxious to hear your
We'll
reviews.
live vicariously again through you.
Okay. Well, I'll be the guinea pig in this situation. Maybe I'll try some guinea pigs.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Maybe that too. All right, hour 3 coming up. We'll come back to this NIL discussion as we start hour 3.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV now through the end of February. We're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Warm up with hot preseason savings on your choice of New Holland equipment right now at WT Equipment. Get 0% financing for 60 months or a free loader on compacts. Choose 0% financing or cash back on mid-range tractors and on select hay tools. Or get up to $40,000 cash back on a new T7. No matter the job, hurry into WT Equipment today and shop their huge selection of in-stock inventory. Now is the best time to get a truckload of savings on the trusted quality and efficient power of New Holland equipment. Offer ends March 31st. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification at CNH Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
This is the Morning Rush.
Save today. The suitable way. Fruitville, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, in Potomac.
Everyone is invited to save on every vehicle on our lot.
Every vehicle on our lot. Smashing and flashing prices that make us cry. Who will make you want to buy.
New and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs
Just like we see on TV.
Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, all on our lot. So come on over and save on us.
Save today. The suitable way.
Steubenville, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Poto.
Elect Judge Sam Terry to Fort Smith District Court on March 5th. Trusted, experienced, and fair, Terry is a former prosecutor and experienced attorney. Judge Terry has been appointed an Arkansas Supreme Court Special Associate Justice and shows his community commitment through numerous volunteer efforts. Vote Judge Sam Terry for Fort Smith District Court Judge on March 5th. The right experience and the right integrity. Early voting begins February 20th. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Sam Terry.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Subiaco in Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco in Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly cloudy sky in place with a chance of some rain. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the lower 50s. Rain showers, a little bit of snow possible across the north overnight. Will drop down into the low to mid 30s. Sunshine returning on Friday, our high upper 50s to near 60. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
I like the fact that there's going to be more opportunities for teams to get in, the not-so-usual suspects. I like that. I don't think it's going to change guys much who wins it. I think you're going to still see the same teams 90% of the time winning the championship, but it does give a few more teams a chance to get in it and play and have an opportunity. It's more inclusive, if you will.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Man, we've received quite a number of texts this morning on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Back to our last subject. I've been told that I need to try hog chitlings, which is like hog guts, oxtails, possum. Scott, listen to Scott in West Fort sent me a picture of him holding a rabbit or bunny, and he's a little furry guy. It's like, I don't want to kill him. And he's like, no worries, my kid will do it. I was like, geez Louise.
Yeah,
so
country living.
That's just different. So I guess, Scott, I will you fry rabbit, or what do you do with that sucker? You grill it?
It's just like any other meat. You can cook it any way you want. You can bake it, grill it, fry it.
It'll taste like chicken.
Raccoon, rabbit, what are some other? We've gotten plenty. Alligator po' boys are fantastic, by the way. Jerry and Fort Smith. That's one of the best delicacies out there.
The key's in preparation. So whatever you decide that you want to try, make sure you have somebody fix it that knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Scott, sometimes you need to soak it like buttermilk or whatever, get the gamey taste out.
Well, here's what Scott does with, he said he'll bring some, and he just shot a picture of his kid holding up one. He said he'll bring some cooked, cherry smoked, chopped rabbit barbecue sandwich.
You better take him up on that. Yeah. You better take him up on that. Sounds like he knows what he's doing.
Scott, anytime you want to bring by some of that rabbit to the studios, you feel free to do so. You're more than welcome to stop by and do that at any point this morning. Now I'm hungry. For fried or smoked barbecue cherry rabbit. That sounds fantastic. You think they have that at Uncorked?
I don't know if Uncorked is going to have that.
Does Scott have that over there?
They do have some unique items on the menu from time to time. I don't know that.
Duck.
Yeah, duck would. Yeah, I think they've had duck on the menu. Duck gumbo would be good. That's another one that you could try. Hey, Uncorked. I was looking at the forecast, boys. Like, we got to get through today, and then like high temperatures are going to be in the 70s for like 10 days. So it is patio weather. It is time to get on the patio at Uncorked, get your friends gathered around, get the TVs on, maybe get an Arkansas baseball game going, enjoy some afternoon libations on the patio at Uncorked. It is the place, I think, the premier place for some outdoor just socializing, gathering, getting out. They got several seating areas. You can dine outside. Their patio is an awesome spot. Call and get online and check it out. Make a reservation for out there at uncorkthefort.com. Another big weekend coming up, and it always starts on Saturday with their brunch. Make your reservation for that as well. You're going to love the menu that Chef Jazz has put together, but Get by one afternoon after work or early evening. Sun's staying out a little longer. We're about to hit daylight savings time. Spend some time on the patio at Uncorked. 5501 Phoenix Avenue. It's next door to Sodi's in Fort Smith. Can't miss it. It's right near the corner of Phoenix and I-540 in Fort Smith. That's Uncorked. Online to make reservations at uncorkedthefort.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
Also, a text on the McLarty Dana hotline about escargot. I think I'm going to forgo that. That might be the one item that we've gotten text in this morning that I'm probably not going to.
Again, it's all in the preparation. Yeah. If it's prepared right, you might like it.
Chris says it's very similar to mussels. I've had mussels.
Yeah. Mussels are great.
Yeah.
How about caviar? You ever done caviar?
That was just all this fancy frou-frou stuff sometimes is just toss it. I've
had caviar one time ever, and you'd never guess who was at the table with me.
Chuck?
No. No. Much higher brow than Chuck. One of them works here.
Derek?
Ruskin, yeah.
Okay.
Me and Ruskin and Bo Mattingly. We were having dinner in Dallas.
That's a trio.
I'll let you guess who ordered the caviar.
Oh.
But it's the first time I tried it. It was it was interesting.
Yeah.
For the discerning palate.
Yeah.
He when I interned for him, he cracked me up on some of the clothing and items. He dressed well. I learned occasionally you have to dress nice, and some of his taste kind of cracked me up when I was a sophomore back in the day.
Good dinner that night though.
Caviar. I don't even know.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what. Whatever they charge is not worth it. Not worth it at all. I don't.
Well, you ever tried it?
Yeah, once, and it was a fine establishment, but again. That fancy stuff, I am a middle class to my core kid. Or young man. You can call me man if you want. You don't have to call me that. I don't really care. I'm middle class to my core, and I won't stray away from that. I'll be driving a Toyota Camry for the rest of my life. I'll be eating the same pizza for the rest of my life. I'll be drinking the same natural light for the rest of my life. At 29,
you said you wanted to be married by 35, right?
Yeah, that's the timeline, Chuck.
Well, I don't know that the bait that you're throwing out there right now is going to get that done.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can buy it at Walmart. All Citra caviar is almost $3,000.
$3,000.
Yeah, I don't.
At Walmart?
I looked.
How much caviar are they giving you? Like 500 pounds?
No. I'm sure you tried it at Chenal on the Sunday brunch every week.
On that note,
Ty, were you one of these spoiled kids that would only eat chicken tenders?
Yeah.
You know, there's all these kids out there. All they'll eat are chicken tenders.
So my palate changed as a kid. My dad was pretty like, it was like, hey, you need to eat this, and I didn't necessarily like all the stuff that was put in front of me. But I'm not. Again, I wasn't a spoiled brat. I was close to it, but
you were spoiled, but you weren't a brat.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
That's a little hard to believe. But go ahead.
Yeah. You sell that to somebody else.
Okay.
I'm not buying.
Enough of the bashing of me.
I was just asking.
It's a fair question, and again, I'm going to be harsher on my kids than my parents were with me.
Okay.
You can take that to the bank.
Start with a date.
Okay.
Start with a date.
That's true.
Chuck, can you eat caviar with ranch dressing? I'm asking for a friend.
I don't know.
Ranch is the greatest sauce to pair with anything. I mean, it virtually goes with everything, every meat.
What's better, ranch dressing or cheese dip?
Probably cheese dip.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close.
It is close. Chuck is a fellow ranch defender. You're a blue cheese snob.
No, I'm not.
And
I like ranch.
You bash me every
No,
time I
like
get ranch. And I eat
I just think with buffalo wings, you go with blue cheese.
Oh, well, I get anytime I'm with Tommy.
If the wings are good, you don't need either.
Well, that's true.
That is very true. No, I'll give you that. All right, so we had a caller in the first hour. I want to come back to this. Jimmy Conway was very, very emphatic about how he felt with NIL. Here were his thoughts, and he's pretty spot on when it comes to this discussion.
The university is saying, we're making this, and this, and we need you to get more. We're going to put you in the end zone and charge you more because it has a chair back. You know, how stupid do you think I am? You know, that's ridiculous. But another NIL deal, you know, SMU paid players in the 80s. It's kind of weird that they're relevant a little bit in football again now that you can pay them again.
I will say Rhett Lashley is doing a really good job right there, Arkansas zone. But to his point about NIL, again, when the University of Arkansas, this is other schools, it's not just a Fayetteville issue. When the SEC, it's like boasting and bragging about how much money they're getting from either the contracts, you see the television contracts or the conference distributing revenue. One, a lot of fans don't understand that can't be used to NIL. It could. It's currently constructed where it's not able to. Two, it's a bad look. And Chuck, you alluded to it earlier, and I didn't think about this vantage point. Like, we're below the Mason-Dixon line. There's not exactly high-rise after high-rise everywhere. People are hard-working. They spend their money on their kids and their house and stuff like that. We don't have just all this free money to invest. And the ones that do, it's expendable to a certain degree, but you can't just keep asking for it. So it is, again, it's frustrating for people like Jimmy, for a lot of you listening that feel like you already contribute a lot to the university in some way, shape, or form, and now you're getting pegged for more money, which I completely get where he's coming from this morning.
Oh, I understand people's frustrations. It's like two classes of people, and I get people's frustration on that part. This is the structure. This is the setup, at least for now. And the bad part in all this is that you still got to recruit in this environment. You still got to go sign kids, and ultimately coaches are hired and fired based on whether or not they win. And so, you've got to play within this system, and it is frustrating. I can assure you, for everyone involved. I don't think that, I don't think a lot of the people that work within this every day are happy about the system. But there's really not anything they can do about it, and their charge is still to win games. This is not sustainable. Everyone's known this for a while. The thing that I do think, and I don't fault the schools for this because this is just kind of the way the game's constructed now, it further creates two classes of people. The truth of the matter is, the person out there who, has given the minimum and has bought end zone seats or upper deck seats, and they're not part of the NIL game. They're just not, because they're giving everything they can just to go to the games. And the last thing in the world they're going to be able to do is give more money of theirs to the NIL so a college kid can live better than them. They're just not going to do that. But the reality is there are people out there. There are people out there that give to that live very well. And they like to be able to feel as though when their team wins that they had something to do with it. And so they put some skin in the game. And those people are the ones that athletic departments and NIL collectives pursue. And the argument of the guy that's sitting in the upper deck falls on deaf ears.
Mm-hmm.
And little by little, year by year, season by season, these people feel a little bit more left out of the process. And you still need those people, and because this system, the way it's set up, is going to blow up. It's going to blow up. It's just a matter of when.
And it's affected professional sports already. Now it's got in the college game, and it's continued that direction. I'll give you another example. So Arrowhead Stadium is going to be renovated for like $800 million, it looks like, and there are a lot of Kansas City Chiefs fans that are upset because they're going to be priced out of their said seats, and that is a professional franchise that has had an insane amount of success the last couple of years, and they feel like the Hunt family feels like that they can take that next step and upgrade, which Arrowhead probably needs to be upgraded to a certain degree. You've been there, I've been there, but it's just the change the way that sports is becoming. Gone are the days that people will sit, and Arrowhead's kind of the exception because, again, that fan base is about as passionate as any college fan base in the country, but we are just trending towards a time where everything's on television. It's easily accessible here on the radio, and that didn't always used to be like that. And so they want to make it more attractable, and that comes with a cost that goes up in almost every single case.
Yeah, but now that's not the NIL. Arkansas colleges continue to do things like that. They're talking about changes at Bud Walton Arena, and other schools have major construction projects going on with their athletic facilities. That's separate from NIL. Yeah, the price of going to the games goes up, generally speaking. when there are renovations like that. And so you've got that, and you've got the NIL.
Yeah,
and you've got the NIL, and you can't commingle those funds right now.
Yeah, and tomorrow is the season ticket renewal deadline for football. And I just want, guys, families are making hard choices right now. We gloss over because sometimes things don't affect certain ones the way it does others. But you mentioned the people that are not being able to give to NIL because they're giving all they can to have their seats in 503 or whatever. I'm just wondering, are we pushing to the point because of just the situation that we find ourselves in when we go to the grocery store, pay our electric bills? Are those fans having to make choices between living and going to games? I mean, we don't think that way sometimes, but that's a reality for some that are in the stadium.
You can't price out your next generation of givers. And sometimes I think schools do that without even realizing it. There are a lot of people in our state, and I suspect it's this way throughout our part of the country and other schools, and we deal with the South, but there are obviously other parts of the country as well. But I suspect that there are a lot of people out there who, if the pricing structure when they were growing up had been what it is now, they might not have gotten to go to games.
May not be.
I can just tell you in my own personal case, I'd have probably never been to a game. My career might not have gone the way it went. And my point is there are a lot of people in our state. We are still a relatively, by comparison, poor state. We admire as a state. We admire the people that pull themselves up by the bootstraps and improve their lot in life. We admire those people, as we should. Well, a lot of those people, if you don't expose them to the product, and I mean in person, not just on television, in person, if you don't expose them to that product when they're at a young age, at an impressionable age, don't expect them to be a fan or a giver to what you do when they're adults. And don't think that you suddenly acting like they're important is going to sway what they know you really think about them. So you can't price these people out of the market because you don't know that you're not pricing out your next, the next name on the stadium.
Yeah.
The next mega donor.
And to that point, it's not just the product, Chuck. It's a winning product.
It doesn't have to be a winning product. Arkansas's not always won. Arkansas's not always won. Going to games, making that part of your family life, making that part of your tradition, your heritage, who we are, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to win. Don't act like this is a program that's won championship after championship. And there are lots of us. Who were exposed to this as a young age. We loved going to the games. We didn't care if they won or not. We were exposed to it, and it had a profound effect on our lives. You can't price a generation like that out. You can't price them out. You're making a huge mistake if you do it.
Yeah, and the pricing, I agree with you 100%.
It's not always about winning.
Here's what I'll say to that. Your level of fandom, Tommy's level of fandom, even my level of fandom is different than the current young man, and I'm not even young man, the kid today. It's the most fair weather fan group. They follow more individuals than anything. And I remember, at least from my vantage point, you were talking about your vantage point earlier, my vantage point was the wins. The reason I became an Arkansas fan is because of what Matt did in 2002 in Little Rock, because of what Darren did in 2010. And I'm not talking about championships. I'm talking about getting close to that point, because we haven't done anything in 30 years, basically. I'm talking even getting close to the pinnacle, which they did a couple times. That's always going to be important when developing and cultivating the new fan base. To me, we may disagree on this, is that winning aspect. And you haven't had it in 10 years, unfortunately. You've got to get back to that. If you're not going to develop that next generation of fans from the pricing standpoint you're talking about, but you also got to win some freaking football games.
I'm not talking about 16, 18, 20-year-olds, Ty. I'm talking about 7, 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. I'm talking about winning does not matter at that age. It's going. It's developing that pattern of going.
Yep. But kids today are not the same as you guys were growing up.
I understand.
They flock to winning.
Yeah,
they flock to winning. They're the most fair weather generation we've ever had. So if you don't win, even if they grow up in this state, they're going to find someone else to cheer for. That's just how it is today in today's day and age.
But that crosses all economic lines. You're right, but that's not really the point that I'm making. That's not really the point.
You're talking about
making.
the memories. The memories.
You are right that you've got to have a program that's attractive to people. There's no doubt about that.
You're talking about wearing
down.
That's
not really what I'm talking about.
You're talking about wearing down Dad Day buys the Dippin' Dots. You're talking about the whole experience of going to the game and being immersed in it.
Yeah, well, and part of it is you got to make people feel like they're important. Just like any business, when you go to a business, when you go to a store, if you feel like they're happy to have you and they appreciate you being there, it's a pretty good chance you'll go back. If you feel like, hey, I was really interrupting their day, there's a good chance you won't go back. And that's just that's kind of how this stuff works too. You got to make people feel important. Hey, let me talk to you for a minute about the Market Moment podcast, folks. It's for the everyday investor. And this week's episode, the hosts Matt and Lee and John, they discuss whether or not the Dow Jones Industrial Average is outdated and how a teenage girl started her investment portfolio. You can start this at any age. Plus the latest updates for what's happening in the market. If you've not listened to the Market Moment podcast, local financial experts, and they take a lot of the big issues, general issues, and they break them down locally, and they talk about what it means to your money. You can check out the latest episode by heading to market-moment.com. That's market-moment.com. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
So you guys were going back to kind of where you grew up watching it at some point. It would be cool. We were talking about time capsules as we started the program this morning here on Leap Day. It would be cool if you guys had kept, and maybe you guys have, if you had kept your first ticket stub. Like, I'm a big ticket stub hoarder prior to them changing over to the technology side of things. That is some of the mementos, and I've kept kind of a time capsule of sorts of all the games I've been to in certain cases all these years later.
That's one of the things about modern technology I think is bad is when you have a memorable game, a big moment, you don't have that ticket stub to
like the Auburn game a couple years ago. Didn't they send you guys?
They sent out one afterward, but it wasn't the real thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice, but wasn't the real thing. Hey, speaking of games coming up, March Madness just around the corner. If you don't have the Bet Saracen app, download that now because there's always fun, extra bets that you can find at Bet Saracen you won't find anywhere else. Not just March Madness that's a few weeks away, but you've got big, important SEC games this weekend. College baseball is there, and you'll find player props and other things that are there that are exclusive to Bet Saracen. So go to the Apple App Store or wherever you get your apps and download it now. The Bet Saracen app, Arkansas's #1 and favorite sports betting app.
All right, when we return here on the Morning Rush, got a wild story. It comes out of Kansas City. I'm not talking about the stadium renovations. I'm talking about a crazed fan that pled guilty to several bank robberies. I'll tell you what's coming up on a Too Stupid Thursday.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
This is former Razorback Jalen Tate, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the fence man...
Listen, back in my day, court stormings were sacred. They were reserved for monumental
Back in my day.
type of wins.
Give me a break. You know, you remember 2017? Back in his day, 2017.
All right, back here on the Morning Rush. Pretty crazy story coming out of Kansas City. Some of you, as Chiefs fans, are familiar with Chiefsaholics. It is a Too Stupid Thursday, and I've got quite a stupid story to tell you coming up in just a sec.
Hey, tomorrow we'll make our Fence Man Friday picks, brought to you by the Fence Man. If you own a business that needs more security or maybe just a better look and more curb appeal, a new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. They've been around for more than 40 years. They custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your home or business. Call the Fence Man. Ask about 18 months, same as cash financing as well. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
So are you guys familiar with this Chiefs super fan that dressed up in a wolf costume, was widely liked amongst Chiefs Kingdom, turns out, and he pled guilty to this yesterday. He is related to a string of 11 robberies across 7 states. Wore the same listen to this. Wore the same wolf mask to the game as he would wear to the robberies.
Huh? Didn't think that one out, did he?
I guess not. But the stupid part is not just that, not the fact that he didn't change, but listen to what his lawyer said yesterday following the him pleading guilty.
From the beginning of this case, folks, the government has been blitzing, and Xavier's pocket was collapsing. But today, Xavier stepped into the pressure. He took responsibility for his actions. He stood up in court, humble and repentant, and admitted what he had done. Now, if I know anything about Xavier, and if the Chiefs Kingdom knows anything about Chiefsaholic, we know that he doesn't give up. We know that if he stumbled and he fell, he didn't let his knee touch the ground. And that's because he's capable of doing a great thing. And he knows that there's still hope. We still have a lot of work to do on his case, but Xavier wants everyone to know that he loves the Chiefs Kingdom, he loves Kansas City, and he hopes that you'll rally to his support. Thank you, and God bless.
What a crock. This guy faces 50 years, $532,000 in restitution, and on top of all that, probably the thing he hates the most, he has to forfeit an autograph painting of Patrick Mahomes, which is probably the biggest thing he has to lose. I mean,
I think that lawyer passed out some business cards after that press conference.
I mean,
he sounded like a guy that passed out a few cards.
How did he pass the bar?
If he needed money, he should have just sold the
That
autograph.
sounded like a prepared statement written by his client, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, I
that
mean,
sounded like a super fan that has an ego.
What is it the lawyers say? Just because you're not innocent doesn't mean you're guilty?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Again,
I'm paraphrasing there. Yeah, he may have done it, but he's a Chiefs fan. Come on, give him a break.
And he's changed. He's repentant, according to his lawyer. And I thought the same thing you did. I thought that Chiefsaholic wrote this out.
Right.
And then, hey, I need you.
I'm paying you. You read it.
I need you to read this at a certain point. I don't know who's back. I don't know if Chiefsaholic is paying for this lawyer or some other Chiefs fan, but Chiefs Kingdom has abandoned him completely. Like after this happened, they went.
He robbed a bank.
No, he didn't rob just one bank, Chuck. He robbed 11.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, you tend to abandon people like that.
Yeah. So again, I
guess it'd be like the next football he's going to play is going to be much like Adam Sandler, I guess, or Burt Reynolds. It'd be behind bars.
Brandon Paris says Lance Armstrong,
the longest yard,
and I haven't seen the first one. I need to watch that at some point. But said Lance Armstrong had a better apology as he texted that in on the McLarty Daniel hotline. I just thought that was hilarious. I laughed out loud when I heard that speech yesterday. I guess if I was convicted of something that severe, I would hope that you would think I was innocent, which hopefully we never get to that point, knock on wood. But if I have a lawyer ever read something as stupid as you just heard,
what's amazing is he did it 11 times. Didn't you say 11 robberies?
Yeah, 7 states. And they
wonder where he slipped up. Wonder what happened.
Well, I think what I was reading I don't know if it was the police report or just a news article, but I think they figured out it's like, okay, Kansas City's on the road in every single one of these robberies. They put it was basically like,
you have to pay for his trip.
Yeah. Sometimes
tickets aren't cheap, man.
What do we say? Sometimes the simplest answer is right in front of you, and they're like, all right, there's no way this guy would wear the same mask that he's all over social media and then also rob the bank in the same mask.
Or you're thinking, hey, no one would be dumb enough to do this. So I'm going to do this. Hiding in plain sight in a mask.
Chiefsaholic going away, it looks like, for maybe 50 years. That's what he's facing at this point. $532,000 and having to give up that Patrick Mahomes signed painting, which I guarantee is probably hurts him the most.
Probably bargained pretty well in prison with that Patrick Mahomes painting.
What's going to hurt him? What's going to hurt him the most is his headed his way in prison. So
Oh man! Oh, that's a too stupid for you. Stupid story for you on a.
You think he'll make the prison football team?
I don't know if he's athletic or not. To be honest, I hadn't seen any highlights. Hadn't seen his high school tape, but maybe, like you said, Paul Crew gives him a tryout lesson.
Maybe he'll play tight end for him. Hey, you guys like fajitas? You fajita guys?
What a segue!
Yeah, fajita guys. Joe's Grill and
they're good.
Joe's Grill and Cantina. Here's the difference in their fajitas versus other places. They actually grill the steak. It's seasoned, it's marinated, then seasoned, and they actually char grill the steak and the chicken. So it's tender, it's juicy, and I'm just telling you, once you try the steak fajitas at Joe's, you're going to know what I'm talking about because it's just better steak meat, and it's char-broiled, and you get that flavor like it's just come off the grill as well. Fajita Friday is coming up tomorrow. It's Throwback Thursday today. You can try all the old Cuco's platters that they'll have on special today. And, of course, on Saturday, here's Ty's kind of deal, Chuck. Joe's has homemade endless enchiladas.
Woo!
Their enchilada sauce is incredible. So you can try endless enchiladas on Saturday. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps and Fort Smith.
All right, when we return, some couple big-time matchups in the SEC last night. Dalton Connect went off against Auburn. We'll share what happened coming up.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
This is former Razorback Sonny Wing, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV now through the end of February. We're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Warm up with hot preseason savings on your choice of New Holland equipment right now at WT Equipment. Get 0% financing for 60 months or a free loader on compacts. Choose 0% financing or cash back on mid-range tractors and on select hay tools. Or get up to $40,000 cash back on a new T7. No matter the job, hurry into WT Equipment today and shop their huge selection of in-stock inventory. Now is the best time to get a truckload of savings on the trusted quality and efficient power of New Holland equipment. Offer ends March 31st. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification at CNH Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and control access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hudson Clark with his 5th career interception.
0.9% financing on a new 23 or 24 GMC Sierra at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 off with factory rebates on a new GMC Sierra truck, or take $3,750 off with 0.9% financing or 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on Sierra 1500s, 6.2-liter engine excluded. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
All right, back here in your SEC update. What a game in Knoxville, Tennessee last night as the Tennessee Volunteers defeated the Auburn Tigers 92-84. Dalton Connect was fantastic last night. Really the difference in the game. Rick Barnes picked himself maybe the best transfer portal guy in the offseason. Once again, Tommy came up big for the Vols.
Yeah, and he's playing his way right in. You know, I don't know if it's him or Zach Edey, but playing his way right into Player of the Year. Certainly SEC Player of the Year, but I can't help but think he's in that national conversation, and to think he was just out there roaming around in Colorado, going to junior colleges. Could have been anywhere.
Let's
talk about diamond in the rough. This guy was the Hope diamond in the rough.
So you had Chuck said the timeline. Let me see if I can recite it from memory. Prairie View A&M, some JUCO in Colorado, then Northern Colorado, then Knoxville, Tennessee. I believe that's correct. So, yeah, he has had quite a journey to get to the SEC in basketball, and it is paying off for him in dividends. Florida wins last night against Missouri by 9. South Carolina goes on the road to College Station, beats the Aggies, who have just floundered as of late. And golly, Moses, Alabama went to Ole Miss and won by 15 in Oxford. The reason I say that is because Ole Miss and A&M, who were both above you, one game in the SEC standings. You'd be tied with them right now for what you say, 9th place if you had won against Vanderbilt on Tuesday night.
Got a tie at the top with Bama and Tennessee. 3rd place is South Carolina. 4th place is Florida, tied with Kentucky, tied with Auburn. So 4th, 5th, and 6th are all tied. Mississippi State's at 8 and 7, and then you got LSU at 7 and 8, and you could be right there with Ole Miss and A&M at 6 and 9 if you hadn't messed the bed the other night.
Blows my mind that happened. Again, Vanderbilt, for whatever reason, has
it doesn't blow your mind. It doesn't surprise anyone that it happened. It's just here's the consequence of it happening.
I thought they were starting to turn a corner a little bit, and then they didn't. So
no excuse to lose to Bandy.
No, it is not. Derek Hood is going to be honored with several other men's basketball players and coaches at the the SEC tournament this upcoming March. He's going to be honored at the first half of, or the halftime of Arkansas's game on, which we presume to be Wednesday, and then also going to be honored at the semifinal game, first game on Saturday. Other players and coaches included Chris Lofton, who we brought up, Tubby Smith as well. So that's Torian Green, who's on national championship game teams with Florida. So several prominent players and coaches are going to be honored in Nashville in about 2.5 weeks from now.
Yeah. So good to see this done. I mean, at some point I don't know what the term legend really means. Derek Hood was as athletic as anyone came through.
It's like an 11-9, 12-9 guy, basically.
Yeah, but it's good to see these. I'm glad they're doing it during the games in which their teams is playing. What Chuck was talking about earlier.
Yeah, and again, I don't know if we necessarily classify him as an Arkansas legend. I wouldn't. There's been a lot of great players that have come through this program. I don't know if necessarily I lump him in with that, but that is who is getting honored. I hope we get him on at a certain point, because he was, as you said, one of the most athletic players that has come through this basketball program. No pushback at all.
Him and Sonny Weems come to mind. We used to talk
Brandon
about
Dean, too.
Brandon Dean, athleticism. Those dudes jumped to the front of my mind, at least in the last, 25, in the SEC era. We'll put it that way. All right, that's your SEC update. It's brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Don't let the weather get you down. Elevate your spirits with Burton Pools and Spas. Beat the weather blues hot tub sale. You can save up to $5,000 on Hot Springs tubs, the world's best-selling brand. Spend time with your family in the new Serenity Series 6-person tub. It's only $75.99. You can warm up and say goodbye to winter blues with a hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. Find them in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and, of course, always online at burtonpools.com. At Burton's, we don't just sell hot tubs. We build long-term relationships. Go to burtonpools.com.
Reminder, Arkansas softball plays at 4 p.m. against, I think, San Diego State, or South Dakota State at 4 o'clock on the SEC Network. That is coming up here in Fayetteville. If you want to go watch the ladies at Bogle Park. Woo Pig Invitational this weekend, so they'll be playing today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. So one of the home events going on this weekend. We've still got some NIL meat to chew on tomorrow. Some of the comments Chris Bauer made is the new NIL Edge director that I want to discuss, but that seemed to spark the biggest fire of any of our topics in conversation this morning, outside of maybe the time capsule and car key conversation we'll get to coming up. But I tend to agree with Chuck. This is not a sustainable model, and how they shift it. I know Charlie Baker has presented that one idea. I'm curious if that moves forward, but we're going to see guys and gals as employees at the university at some point. It's just a matter of when, I think.
When do we see a game that doesn't get played because the players strike, essentially? Not going to take the field until we get some kind of bargaining chip they're looking for.
Well,
I think we're going to see some kind of loose organization of student athletes at some point. We're all connected through social media and digital means now. I don't think it's too far-fetched to think you could have players and teams just say, hey, we're not taking the field until we get whatever it is they're bargaining for.
Yeah, there were rumors flying around prior to the Clemson-Alabama national championship game. This was pre-NIL, that they were just going to go on strike, and it not happened. Nothing became of that, but that's been talked about for a while, as has players been being paid. That happened July of 2021, 3 years ago. So now it's only a matter of time before I think that does pan out at some point.
At some point, the players, and listen, you say, well, you can't have a players union. Well, at some point you need that, because that's the only way you can have collective bargaining or some kind of agreement. Now, whether they're W-2 employees, 1099, I don't know all of how that's going to pan out. But there is going to have to be more structure, because right now there's no structure because there's no players association or union or anyone to bargain with with the schools. And, you got the NCAA, but is that who does the bargaining for the schools? This is not sustainable because there is no structure in the way we think about in pro sports. And, there's laws in our country. And the Supreme Court, has backed these up, and the court system has backed up the players. You're going to have to get to a point where there's somebody, and like governing body to negotiate on behalf of the players.
It's coming at some
as
point.
A whole.
Mm-hmm. It is coming at some point.
And my guess is at that point, players may get more money, but there's going to be rules and restrictions and how soon you can transfer. Because one of the problems we got with all this transferring tie and jumping school to school is, all right, player X signs up with car dealer Y in that market, and then he leaves the next year. And then he does that 2 or 3 times. That's not what this was. Everything this was intended to be has been nothing what NIL has turned into, and everything we feared has become exactly what it's about. That's what has to get fixed.
So we've been talking about time capsules this morning. If we look up in 10 years, if we put in our grievances, our angers, our frustration towards college football now, we put it in a box, and I'll say instead of 10, we'll go on the leap years. 8 years later, or even 4 years later, the next leap year in 2028, will things be better or worse than they are right now? If you had to put pen to paper on
it,
something.
depends on your perspective, because some think it's better now. You have a kid playing now, you think it's better now than it was 4 years ago. So
I'm talking about the overarching feel of.
It depends on your perspective. It's going to be different. Whether it's better or worse will depend on your perspective. I'm going to guess some of this gets reined in. While the money may get bigger going to the players, which I'm not against, some of the lack of rules, the lack of guardrails has to get reined in. Or the next generation of athletes, the kids that are coming that are my son's age, will never have a chance because it's going to fall apart. And I think fan resentment's already building. We've heard some of that this morning. Fan resentment is already climbing.
I come back to where I always come back to on this discussion. I don't think this is a prominent topic on our airwaves. If you went, let's say, 9-4 or 10-3, and the basketball team was online to have a tournament run once again, I just don't feel that way because I don't think this is a prominent topic in Athens, Georgia. I don't think it's one in Tuscaloosa. Basketball-wise, I don't think it's one in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, or Durham, North Carolina. I just don't think that's the case. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's still, there's people still in droves angry about it, but winning to me is still the ultimate equalizer in this. All right, we figured out in terms of this morning, in terms of the car keys here on a Too Stupid Thursday. Remind listeners, as it is again keys and small change day yesterday, where do you keep your keys and your wallet and your phone?
Keys in the right front pocket.
Okay.
Phone generally not in a pocket.
Just
Carried.
have it out.
If I have to put it in my pocket, depending on where I'm at, what I'm doing. I don't really have a designated one. And then I don't really carry my wallet a lot. If I need to take my debit card in, I'll just take the debit card in. I've got this old school, old man wallet. I got to find a new wallet.
How long have you had
I don't
that
like
thing?
that thing because I've got a Sam's Club card. I got a company credit card. I got my 2 credit cards. I've got too many cards and things I need on a regular basis to these new Edge wallets, and I've never found one that would hold everything I need it to hold.
Big money bags over there.
Well, it's not cash; it's credit cards. Sam's cards.
See you again.
Insurance
it's
card.
the elongated wallet rather than just
I hate it, but I've had it forever.
Surely there's
There's got to be a better. There's got to be a better way.
I bet you could find one. I'm sure there's an advertiser out there that is just
They can sell me a wallet.
Yeah, the hockey out there. Keys and wallet in the left pocket, phone in the right pocket.
No
I've
change.
done that way.
I don't carry change
I
anymore.
don't either.
Not very long
at this point.
We got an old vase where I sent my wife flowers once. That's where all the change goes now. And my kids steal it. The quarters never last in there.
No. Hey, just a reminder to everyone out there, make sure if you haven't already, download the Hit That Line Now app on Google Play and iTunes. All you got to do is search Hit That Line Now. You can find our live streaming there. You can find our YouTube channel there. You can find all of our content you find on hitthatline.com. They're easy to download. Take it anywhere with you, out not just in our listening area. So whether you're listening to us on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, the Hit That Line Now app, we can go wherever you go. Road trips, out of state, doesn't really matter at this point. We're there. And
I was talking to Robert Mann yesterday at the Stadium Shop. Stopped in to see him, pick up something I need something Razorback. And he said, hey, love the new app. And here's what I like most about it, because he'd been listening at times in TuneIn app or one of these other apps that I didn't know this. They interrupt our programming with their own commercials over the top of our content.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. So when you use one of these other apps, it's not our app. Apparently, they are interrupting what we're doing randomly with their own commercials, which I guess they have the right to do. But with ours, it's just, you're just going to hear the radio show. You're going to hear the content here. You don't have to worry about those interruptions. So that's one reason to get the Hit That Line Now app. And everything you like about our place
One
is
of
there.
the thousands of reasons that you should download it.
Hey, thanks for all the calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville. A good deal. It's never too far away. Find them online at McLartyDaniel.com.
Back tomorrow in these chairs at 6 a.m.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV now through the end of February.